A couple months ago, one of the best journalists on the planet, who also happens to be a YouTuber, got his house firebombed due to his investigations into a large network of corruption in Australia. I really do mean those words earnestly. Journalism is in such a poor spot right now. Modern journalism has about as much respect as the bronies did during the early 2010s. You remember that community of adults that used to jerk off to My Little Pony? In fact, I would argue that people have more respect for them than a lot of journalists these days, and rightfully so. It's an industry that thrives off of just feeding shit into the mouths of everyone that happens to come across their headlines. They're either writing meaningless articles, not focusing on anything important, writing blatant lies about shit, or just generating their own controversies to farm rage bait clicks from people just to drive traffic to their site. I'm sure you're tired of me whining about this one example I'm about to use because I've used it like 20 fucking times now, but I just think it's perfect to encapsulate what I'm talking about. There is an article Kotaku published proudly where it was all about the author mishearing a lyric in a Super Smash Bros. Song and thinking they heard a slur, so they wrote a whole article attacking Nintendo for it and demanding an apology and a response. Like, that is just the perfect example for what I'm talking about. I'm already getting lost in the sauce talking about this again and ranting. The reason I'm even mentioning it is because Friendly Jordies does real, meaningful journalism. One of the very few in the field that does. He's a political commentator, a YouTuber, and a comedian, and he combines all of these into extremely hard-hitting investigations into corruption in the government, and he presents all of the information factually, with sources, with evidence, and delivers it in extremely entertaining ways. So it's palatable to anyone, even if you're not in Australia, it gets you educated and it entertains you. It is just the perfect blend of everything you could ever want from a journalist, really. And for all of his hard work, his life gets threatened. He is doing all of this at great personal risk to his own safety. His fucking house got firebombed, and the list of suspects that it could be is super long. He came back recently after a 2-month break on YouTube to update everyone on what's going on with that whole situation, and he laid out the entire timeline of events for all of the enemies he's made that could have been responsible for this firebomb attack on his house. This attempt on his life could have been made by a lot of very powerful people that Jordies has exposed and dropped very important information on over the years, and I highly, highly recommend watching his entire video going over all of it. Of course, the link is going to be in the description below. I'd like to briefly give you a summation of some of the possible suspects here in this little murder mystery whodunit. He compared this whole situation to Knives Out, and he's absolutely right. This is a wild web of fucking supervillains that are after him, potentially. He's got like the entire fucking Naruto Akatsuki hunting him down. And by far the biggest clown, but also the biggest, most powerful person in that group is John Barilaro, the former Deputy Premier of New South Wales, whom has come after Jordies many times and even cites Jordies as the reason he stepped down from his position, the most powerful position in New South Wales, because of their YouTube beef and Jordies' content insulting him and exposing him. John Barilaro has some very scary connections that could have been used here that led to this whole situation, and Friendly Jordies does highlight all of these possibilities. But of course, he's far from the only one. Jordies has exposed corruption at every level, so the list of enemies is longer than the terms of service to signing up to iTunes. But I would like to highlight 2 others. One of them is an extremely powerful gambling company that Jordies has talked about and dropped very important information regarding. And another one is an organized crime ring. I'm not going to go too in-depth on those 2 yet. I highly recommend you watch Jordies' video talking about why these are very possible suspects in this firebombing on his residence. But I would like to show you a few clips from the video, mainly ones that are poking fun at John Barilaro, going over the history between the two, and just kind of pointing and laughing at this absolute goober. But it is a very serious situation, and somehow Jordies has unbreakable, indomitable spirit and will. Because even though his life has been threatened, and keep in mind, that firebombing, it was twice. At first, they firebombed his neighbor thinking it was his house, but when they realized it wasn't his house, they came back and fucking firebombed him again. So, his life, very real danger, and he still is making the decision to stay and fight against corruption. There is nothing more admirable or brave. Like, he is exactly what journalists should aspire to be. and he still somehow delivers content that is so entertaining and so good. I don't know how he does it without just like chewing on his fucking fingernails in fear every day. Absolute goddamn Australian hero.
In what I now know was a premeditated attack that at best was intended to terrify me and at worst was intended to kill me.
I would say it was probably intended to kill you. Like, throwing a firebomb at the house and actually setting the house on fire is less of like an intimidation tactic and more of an attempted murder, I would say. But I feel like in his position, he's got to be very careful with the words he chooses because he's constantly in the crosshairs of every single authority in Australia because he exposes so much corruption. But yeah, this is very much a step above an intimidation tactic. An intimidation tactic is if you had like someone come to your house dressed as a construction worker, but then it was actually a lawyer serving you like a fucking lawsuit. That's an intimidation tactic. This is some like hitman shit.
The night that happened, I was supposed to be sleeping here. I didn't even have smoke alarms, so there's a very good chance that if I was, I could have ended up like the content you're watching right now. Fire. But I wasn't here because that week I was performing my live show in Melbourne and I forgot my keys while I was down there. So there, criminals outwitted. It reminds me of that quote.
He's 2 steps ahead.
Then the enemy certainly can't anticipate our future actions. So I was sleeping somewhere else that night.
That's such a beautiful line too. That's always the cliche on how they beat like an overpowered villain in an anime or some shit who can see into the future. We'll have no plan and we'll wing it. Unpredictability is our best friend.
Here, and it is too big of a jump to go from beating a cameraman in public to firebombing a house.
That is a big jump, but you're also giving him a lot of credit here with beating a cameraman. This cameraman is fending off this overgrown baby with ease. Like, this is pretty sad for John Barilaro here. He is, it's like that, like an older brother putting their hand on the head of the younger brother as he's throwing punches that are missing. And he's holding like a 30-pound camera on his shoulder.
John Barilaro had this palatial multi-million-dollar estate that he Airbnb'd as a side hustle to his other gig, being the leader of a state. This is the dumbest thing you could do, right? Like, especially since the other half of the time, it's not Airbnb, that's where he lives. So we thought, wouldn't it be good if we film a video on the history of all the shitty things he's done, but film it at that Airbnb? Because as you've probably gathered, or haven't because you're that dumb, I'm filming at your estate. And I want you to be the first to know that I f***ed in both your guest houses. Oh, Stooge, we tracked the video. It's coming from inside the
I don't know
house.
if that's true or not, but that's such a fucking flex. This guy actually sounds unbelievably stupid. Like, legitimately, observably stupid. I am believing 100% that his feelings got hurt because Friendly Jordies made fun of him, and he probably cried. Like, he actually probably did cry and then resign. That's crazy. They came on his pillows. Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, I wasn't there to watch him have sex and pound cheeks at John Barilaro's Airbnb or anything. I'm just going to take his word for it. And even if he didn't, he planted the seed of doubt in his head forever now. The guy that makes fun of him also fucked in his beds. So either way, that's a W.
John was demanding the police conduct a bug sweep of the property. Something that would cost the taxpayers $10,000.
And a blacklight,
Despite
please.
the fact we
We need to know if he
almost
actually
that
fucked
much
here.
to stay at the property. Just imagine how stupid and entitled it is to be Deputy Premier and lease one of your primary residences out to anyone. I never considered doing this before, but say a property developer wants a favour, they could very easily get material to blackmail you.
Hey, I want to pop in here real quick once again to drive home the absolute insanity of this situation. John Barilaro, the most powerful man in New South Wales, was listing his actual primary estate as an Airbnb when he wasn't staying there. That is levels of stupid that not even Saints Row was able to tickle. John Barilaro has the brain of a child still struggling to fit a square into a square hole. I don't know what could have even led to him believing that was a decent idea at all. Like, maybe it's 30, 40 years of eating paint chips and boofing asbestos. Like, I don't know. Like, how he could have thought in his position that listing his actual residency as an Airbnb was smart. As Jordy's does list, there was a lot worse shit that could have come from this. Shit could have been planted in his estate that would have got him in huge legal trouble. Blackmail. It could have been bugged. Like, there was so much that could have happened here because he lists it as a fucking Airbnb. Honestly, John's lucky Jordy's was the one to do this because it could have been so much worse. He got off easy by the only thing scandalous happening in his estate was Jordy's slamming ham in his bed. Like, he could have found himself in much, much, much bigger trouble.
In another video, I called Barillaro up and attempted to ask him about allegations surrounding him and extramarital affairs.
Turns out, John's intimate relationships would eventually come under scrutiny
no.
in a production hearing concerning his boss's intimate
John.
relationships, but that's a story for another day.
I didn't know this at the time, but these videos caused John's office to contact the New South Wales Police Force just days after their release, specifically the Counter-Terrorism and Special Tactics Command.
God, what a flex. You grilled a man's cheeks so hard that he called in the Counter-Terrorism and Special Tactics Command. Fucking Jack Bauer had to be put on your case because you bullied this guy's feelings so hard. Jesus Christ. Now I think he fucked someone that's not his wife. Now, I mean, I know nothing about him or the case, but now because he called in fucking CTU, the Counter-Terrorism Unit, now I think he absolutely cheated on his wife. He went too hard to prove he didn't. Now I feel like he's covering something up. You see, you gotta, there's a fine line between, like, a proper response and an overkill. And when you reach overkill, you're basically already guilty. Oh no, John.
The defamation lawyers draft up this absolutely
He's a prime
schizophrenic
messiah.
letter detailing all of John's grievances with the videos I made, including that I called him a greasy little scrotum. He needed
That
to
was
clear
too
the
far.
record on that one. Let everyone know that's not true. Go by, and they were pretty quiet. Unbeknownst
Seeing
to us,
insults
the
in
police
writing on a
hearing
legal
is
document is
surveilling us
crazy.
On behalf of a guy that we exposed and made fun of.
Oh no.
So we've been served. And what they gave us, in my honest opinion, is another whiny crock of shit. That was.
Does
not
he
only
actually have to?
riddled with-
So he's been sued a million fucking times. Does he actually ever have to even defend himself, or does it get thrown out pretty quickly? Because this man has collected more lawsuits than I have Pokemon cards at this point, from the feelings he's hurt. Yeah, he's had to defend a few times. Okay. Because, like, I've seen the sheer number of them, and it is overwhelming. But I also know quite a few of them get thrown out. Like, even in the description of this one is being thrown out. So I was just wondering if he ever even had to actually go defend himself, or if they eventually just drop it.
Then on the 4th of June 2021, my producer Christo was walking back from uni.
Oh,
He was already
I know
planning
this
on
one.
meeting our lawyer Mark that day, so he had the document.
Yeah, this was a big clip when it came out.
They're giving away evidence to try to run away with it. Yeah?
What's happening? They're just fighting him.
Run off with evidence. Okay? Who are you doing this? You're out with... Jesus Christ.
Film this. Make
What
sure
the
you don't film it. This is bizarre.
This is not Australia.
Yeah, it's Mark Davis.
Christo was arrested by the Terror Police, specifically the Fixated Persons Unit, charged with 4 counts of stalking and intimidation. So we're now facing criminal charges and a defamation suit.
The guy looks like he got... Well, I mean, in defense of John Barilaro, he literally did kind of get cucked by extension. Because this fucking idiot put his personal residence up as an Airbnb, so Friendly Jordies went and had sex there. Like, his estate got cucked. So of course he's going to be sad forever. I'll briefly give a little context here. Jordy's producer got arrested on completely bogus dog shit by the goddamn fucking counter-terrorist unit, like super soldiers meant to actually go after like terrorists and shit, all over fucking hurt feelings, and Jordy's and his team exposing corruption. It's an absolute affront to God. It is just downright wrong and fucked up what happened to Jordy's, his team, and everyone involved here. And that clip you saw is only a brief section of that whole arrest, which was brutal. Like, they roughed him up for no reason. Like, all of it is just foul.
They end up withdrawing the application and paying both Christo and my legal costs of over $20,000.
Hey,
But Christo's
attaboy.
criminal charges still hang over him, and my defo case is still ongoing. During this time, Barilaro also decided to publicly announce his intention to resign from politics, basically saying, I forced him to resign.
The defamation case definitely playing a big part of this.
God, that's
I
so
don't know how
good.
many of you can endure what I've endured on online. I feel for young men and women, young boys and girls that get bullied on social media. I feel for them because as a
Bro, you are literally the most powerful person in the region, and you're crying about YouTubers making fun of you so much that you're quitting your job. That is the weakest, softest shit of all time. Actual 14-year-olds get bullied harder than you do, and you know what they do? Continue on and move forward. You're the fucking most powerful politician in the region, and you curl up into the little fetal position suckling your thumb because a YouTuber called you a greasy scrotum. That is wild. That is fucking wild. Holy shit. You know what? I actually don't even think it's the mean words that Jordy says against him. I really think when Jordy's fucked at his house because this stupid idiot put his Airbnb or his actual home up for the Airbnb, I think that's what broke him. I think that, like, actually broke his whole soul. I think that was just, like, this big eureka moment where it's like, wow, I'm a fucking idiot. And he couldn't handle the realization. Like, the self-reflection was too much. Overwhelming.
So my legal team launches an
Holy
application
shit,
to
that's
strike out
Galaxy
that
Brain.
claim, opposed again by Barilaro, who fights tooth and nail to keep that claim in and keep his special protections that prevent his own words from being examined in court. And guess what? We lose. The judge rules that it would be more unfair to deprive Barilaro of the right to vindicate his reputation.
What?
Than
What is that
to
stance?
make it impossible
That's just
for me
blatant
to
corruption.
defend myself. So I'm basically stuck in
That needs to be highly scrutinized ASAP. That is so wild. Holy shit. Imagine still being bound by a 1700s ruling to protect a politician from saying something stupid in Parliament. He literally said he can defend himself, but not you. I know.
In late December of 2021, I released a video detailing that I had found an Ashley Madison account linked to John Barilaro's email address and personal details. You know the website that had the slogan,
That's so
"Life
good.
is short, have an affair." It was hacked a few years ago. I
Yes.
swear to God.
That was
as with
huge.
The rest of this saga, you couldn't make this up.
That I can't wait for the reveal, but I just have to once again chime on that. With that Ashley Madison hack, I don't know how many of you remember that. That caused like actual hysteria for maybe like a week. Like on Facebook, like the old gentlemen, they were breaking down like, how could this have happened? The internet is a secure place. My life is ruined. I can't believe it. Like absolutely having this nuclear meltdown because all of their shit was now exposed. It was amazing. It was fucking amazing. Ashley Madison was a place where married men went for cheating on their wife or something. That was the whole shtick. That was the whole basis of the site.
Him because when cameramen went to film him one night regarding this scandal, this happened.
I wonder if that was the woman he met on Ashley Madison or if it was his wife. There's really no telling. Oh, this is the cameraman.
It was a
Hey,
long
come on now.
and
Please. The cameraman wins this. John took the most damage. John was the one that hit the blast zone here. Cameraman's got 30 pounds of fucking iron on him. And he is still just manhandling John with one arm.
couldn't work for a while, so we're now using our legal fund to pay for a legal action against John Barilaro on behalf of the camera.
Let's go.
Just a quick
That's so
update.
good.
Days ago, John's charges were dropped
Oh.
on the grounds of mental health.
How is that an excuse? Wait, what? Does that work in Australia? So let's say assault and battery, whatever. Like you show evidence like, hey, this is really taking a toll on my mental health. Like I'm really stressed about this, and then be like, oh my god, we're so fucking sorry. Holy shit. Okay, we'll drop the case, please. Take all the time you need to recover from the, the mental burden of this whole ordeal. Oh my god, wow. Is that just like something you can actually do? Like, obviously assault charges are going to be mentally draining, even to, well, especially to the super sensitive goofball Barolaro. But is that a real defense? Like, my mental health is suffering from this, please drop it. And they'll be like, oh, yes. Well, now that you've said that. It's like in Pirates of the Caribbean with Parlay. If you shout Parlay, they just have to stop everything. No, not a thing. He's just super corrupt. Okay, thank God. I'm happy to hear that. Well, I mean, I'm not happy to hear about the corruption, but I'm glad to hear this isn't like a real tactic you can employ.
Executive Director of large Sydney property development company Coronation Property Co. In August last year, we released an investigation into this developer, which detailed never before published links between them and one of the most violent crime organisations in all of Australian history, the Alameddine crime family, who are in no way suspects in the firebombing. No, not them. I'm sure they all have very credible alibis.
Wow, that's
we
terrifying.
Revealed that Andy DeHaas, the now former enough for Clubs New South Wales to bring a private prosecution against Troy and I.
So now I've made even more enemies. The gambling lobby and anyone that would use them to launder money.
And Clubs New South Wales rejected him. By the way, this came out on the same day John was saying in court that he was too mentally ill to face his assault charges, but well enough to run Clubs New South Wales, one of the most scrutinised jobs in the country right now.
Well, the thing is, like, assault charges are a scary thing. That's like a mental ewy. Like, that's yucky. Like, that doesn't make me feel good. But being in charge of a massive gambling company, that's a yippee kind of feeling. Like, that's two very different sides of, like, the mental spectrum here. So I can totally understand him not wanting to go to court to face the assault charges. That is very stressful. This is pleasure. This is fun. So I get it. I get it, John.
To have me thrown in jail, the 7th richest man in Australia threatening to sue me, numerous other property developers are dodgy bears. I have a longer enemies list than Richard Nixon, so despite having my suspicions, I'm still not completely sure as to who done it. But enough of listing enemies, it's now time for my friends list. First of all, sorry to my neighbours and landlord, and future apology to whoever finds my corpse. It's going to be messy. I'm not going down without a fight. Big thank you, boy.
That's like actually fucking terrifying. Like, he's making light of it, but the enemies that he has listed here are actually fucking horrifying. Like, I can't believe he's still staying in Australia, honestly. I really can't. So, for those that don't remember the situation, I'll quickly let you know. His house got firebombed, but it was actually the second attempt. So they initially firebombed his fucking neighbors, thinking it was his house. And then when they realized it wasn't his house that they fucking firebombed, they came back to try and finish the job. And like he mentioned, the house didn't even have smoke alarms, so like he literally probably would have just died if he was actually home at the time. Because it would have been when he was asleep. And the enemies he's listed here and their connections are very serious. I don't know how he's sitting here and being like okay about it and lucid. What a man's man. The problem as well is people who hear real journalism but don't like the message and reject it. See, like, I don't really subscribe to that belief, because if you look at some of, like, the real journalists that do great work like Jordy's, they are very well received by actual people, not politicians and not the elite. Like, that's how you know it's the sign of, like, good journalism. I never really see pushback when you're met with, like, a real journalist. It's a terrible day for rain. I'm wearing black because we're mourning. It didn't feel appropriate to put on a white shirt and have my bubbly, happy-go-lucky, enthusiastic self here today when talking about such a serious topic. YouTube is currently running an experiment to crack down on ad blockers. Some of you may have noticed over the last 24 hours your ad block is no longer functioning on YouTube and you're getting a message about it. This is our first casualties of this long and bloody battle. The first mangled corpses littering the battlefield. The ad block champion for which we have worshipped for so long is starting to be attacked. Now, honestly, I'm surprised it's taken YouTube this long to try and fight back against the empire here of ad block. It's been around for well over a decade. I don't know a single person under the age of 50 that even uses the internet without an ad block. That's just a recipe for disaster. I'm at the point now where if a website even asks me to disable my ad block, I just leave. Like, I can't even go on Forbes anymore because it has that pop-up saying, disable ad block in order to read our dog shit, and I'm out. I drop everything and I say, you know what? I'm not eating at this lunch table anymore. I just can't peruse the internet without an ad block. It feels like unprotected sex with someone completely filthy. It feels vile. So, ad block is a core part of the internet experience for a lot of people, myself included, clearly. So to see YouTube starting to shut down the ad block functionality on the platform is a little sad and alarming for me because clearly I haven't been on here without an ad block in so long. Now, on my phone, when I'm listening to music or something on my phone, I don't have YouTube Premium or anything, so I still do get ads, but they're usually pretty manageable. It's only like a 5-second skippable, or a 15-second ad or a 5-second skippable ad, so it's not that bad. It doesn't bother me that much, but on my computer, you know I stay fucking strapped with that ad blocker. And I, of course, always encourage everyone out there to have some sort of ad blocker. There's even browsers with ad block built in, like Opera GX. This isn't like a sponsored segment or anything. It has a built-in ad block. It's just important. You know, there's no reason to be going through the internet and being inundated with, you know, all these ads shoved down your throat and slapped around with all kinds of intrusive advertising you don't want to see. It's just kind of a necessity. It's a core part of the experience in the cyberspace. It's like looking both ways before crossing the street. Make sure your ad block is on before visiting this website, just in case. And sometimes it's just downright dangerous to not have ad block on, because some of the ads are just straight up viruses and malware. Now keep in mind, this is still an experiment. They're still in Dexter's laboratory right now cooking this up in order to fight back against ad blockers, so this isn't going to apply to everyone out there. Maybe you're still in the good graces of your ad block and it's still functioning as it always has. But a lot of users are receiving this message that says, ad blockers are not allowed on YouTube. It looks like you may be using an ad blocker. Ads allow YouTube to stay free for billions of users worldwide. You can go ad-free with YouTube Premium and creators can still get paid from your subscription. And then you have the option, allow YouTube ads or try YouTube Premium. Now, I obviously understand why YouTube is doing this. I think everybody in the world has an understanding of why YouTube would want to stop ad blockers from working on their site. And it's because they lose a lot of money to it, like probably billions of dollars to it. YouTube does rely on advertisers to be on the platform, and thus as the user base continues to grow, so does the exposure to ads, which puts money in YouTube's pocket to keep the service free, so that way people can still keep getting free content. They just have to sit through the ads. And with ad block, they've kind of taken that out of the equation for a lot of people, which means a lot more people aren't seeing the ads, which means YouTube's losing out on that money. It's all pretty simple. We're not diving into any quantum computational bibble babble. It's YouTube loses money when the ad block is on, so they want to rip that condom off so they can get that money again. So ad block will no longer function, which sucks for me because I'm not a YouTube Premium subscriber and I don't want ads, which means I'll probably have to pay for YouTube Premium here pretty soon. Right now, Google is calling this a small experiment, but it's important that we realize that everything big once started small, except for me. I started small and I'm still small at 5'6", but the point is, they're saying it's a small experiment globally that urges viewers with ad blockers enabled to allow ads on YouTube or try YouTube Premium. Ad block detection is not new, and other publishers regularly ask viewers to disable ad blockers, which is true. This isn't some kind of groundbreaking, innovative technology here that detects the ad block. Like, they're not a pioneer. Tons of sites have done that and are still currently doing it. YouTube is just one of the last ones to do it, surprisingly, and now they're finally deciding to get into that ball game. The article also mentions how they do experiment with other kinds of ad strategies. Last year, they did an experiment that forced users to watch a long chain of short and unskippable ads. I believe this was all on YouTube TV, where they had like 10 unskippable ads, just to test out if TV watchers would be more susceptible to long-form advertising. And then it also mentions that YouTube creators have seen a steady decline in ad revenue since 2017 with the adpocalypse. So, one thing that they mentioned here, and a lot of people have talked about, is when ad block is disabled, the creator makes more money off ad revenue. I don't know if that's true or not. I've always encouraged people to have an ad block when using the internet in general, which of course applies to my content as well. So I don't know if that's going to be a noticeable impact on creator ad revenue or anything. it makes sense, like the logic makes sense, that all tracks, that if more people are seeing the ads on your videos, that means more dollars, more doubloons in your pocket for it. So I do think that it probably will lead to higher ad revenue for creators, but it comes at a cost to the viewer experience because, again, no one really wants to sit through the ads. And if they don't want to sit through the ads, then the only other way is the YouTube Premium, which costs money. So all of it's not exactly how I'd like to see it play out, because I always think the most important thing is people getting to have a fun experience that isn't a headache. And right now, that to me is having the ad block on and just being able to watch the content immediately with no stress and no financial investment in order to get that experience. Also, you might remember a few years ago, actually quite a long time ago now, there was a couple delusional creators that were absolutely huffing glue, and they started to whine and complain about people using adblock. We had these fucking hall monitors on YouTube who were like, adblock is piracy, it's theft, you're stealing from the creators. If you care about our content, you'll turn off the adblock and you'll click on the ads too, god damn it, you fucking filthy swine. And everyone shot spitballs at them and made fun of those clowns. Well, now they're probably wiggling their finger, like completely jubilated at this new announcement here. No, that mentality hasn't been prevalent in quite a long time. That's kind of faded out because it's so ridiculous to try and claim that free content is being pirated when they're not watching the ads. It's so stupid. But I just wanted to point that out right now because they're probably ecstatic. Like, they're probably going wild right now. Fucking rip their shirt off and twirling it over their head right now. I just slapped the mic. I bet that sounded amazing. Sorry about that. I guess a little jump scare. But yeah, overall, it's a sad day. It's the end of an era, the end of the adblock utopia we've taken for granted for so long. I can only hope that this doesn't become even more widespread, because right now it's already huge. I mentioned Forbes earlier, but there's a lot of major publications that won't even allow you to access articles with an adblock on. And like, I understand, all of these sites need advertising to survive. But the problem is the ads are way too intrusive. When you do make the mistake of obliging and turning off your ad block to go to these sites, you get like fucking 9 different ads all at once. You'll have like an auto ad that plays with audio on some sites. You'll then have like a drop down ad that'll come through, which takes up like half the screen, and then you have 2 ads on the side. It's so much. It's like Charles Xavier jacking into Cerebro, but all he's seeing is fucking dog shit advertising. It's too shitty. So if you really do want people to browse your sites without an ad block, then make the advertisements less intrusive, less invasive, and less of a fucking headache and an eyesore. It's that simple. That's how you solve this whole thing instead of punishing people for having an ad block. Now, in the case of YouTube, like I said, I do understand it, and right now the YouTube ad system isn't that bad. I get it on mobile because I don't have YouTube Premium, so when I'm listening to music, I get the ads. And right now, I only ever get a 15-second unskippable ad or a 5-second skippable ad. I'm never getting a ton of them, though there are occasionally moments where if I'm not paying attention, I'll get like 2 ads back to back, and that second one's like a minute long, so I'll have to go over there and be like, skip. Because if I don't, then I get like an entire fucking short stories content worth of advertising. So they do have those sneaky little bastards snuck in there occasionally, but it's always skippable. So if you're just present, you can skip it. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't bother me too much. But I probably will end up just getting YouTube Premium because I really don't want to be getting ads when I'm on the computer. So, yeah, just wanted to talk about all this. That's about it. See ya. For too long, I've buried my head in the sand, plugging my ears, pretending nothing's wrong. But it's time to finally rise and hit you with the cock meat surprise. It's a subject a lot of people have asked me to weigh in on, and I just haven't really bothered until now. Jacksepticeye recently made a video talking about it, and it's something that I feel I should also talk about as well, since it's so highly requested. It has to deal with a problem that YouTube's been facing for about a year now, and I expected it to be resolved by now, but it's showing no signs of improving or getting better, so might as well address it since a lot of people have also noticed it. And it has to deal with the comment section. The YouTube comment section is inflicted with the scarlet rot. It is just being fucking poisoned by bots and spammers. When you think of hopeless misery, you probably immediately picture Twitter. But then right above that, you have the YouTube comment section. For a really long time, it's had a very negative reputation, and for good reason. YouTube comment section is where basic reasoning goes to die for the most part. And depending on where you end up on YouTube, you can find some of the most outrageous shit imaginable with hundreds of updates supporting it, and then like a full 500 reply thread on it. I remember a long time ago, it must have been like almost 2 years ago now, I was watching a flat earth rap video, and the top comment was someone talking about how they had a nightmare that an octopus inked them, and it somehow like helped them achieve enlightenment, like this blissful nirvana, and they were able to see like interdimensional celebrity demons or something, and they went on with this like crazy fanfic, and it had tons of updates. And then all of the replies were like, oh my god, I had the same dream, we're somehow connected. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? I'm getting carried away. Point is, the YouTube comment section has always, for like the entire history of YouTube, been a weird and wacky wasteland. However, it has never been as bad as it currently is, because now it is completely infested with bots and spammers, and I'm sure you've seen them. If you leave a comment on any YouTube video, including this one, I guarantee it, if you leave any comment, all of the replies, and you'll get somewhere between like 2 and 10 replies, and all of them are bots saying the same shit in different ways. The big ones are, this guy's content is garbage, I'm making straight bangers on my channel, click here. And sometimes the bots are sophisticated enough to somehow slip a link past the link block. So they'll sometimes just drop a link to something, whether it's a YouTube video or a website, be like, this video is super sucky, this is a stinker-rooney on the highest level, look at this link. This video is amazing. Or, I just found this guy's chat logs on this website. Click here to look at it. I've been crying all day after reading it. And if you make the mistake of clicking on any of these channels or clicking these links, you'll find that on the channels there's no videos. So I imagine it's maybe to grab your IP or something fucking weird. I don't know, but most of the time there's not even a single video there. And if you make the mistake of clicking a link, you're absolutely going right to a fucking phishing scam. And if it's a link to a YouTube video, you're absolutely going to a really fucking sketchy YouTube video with 009 soundscape blasting in some kind of Windows Movie Maker tutorial. Like, it's the weirdest shit. It's like the bots are somehow stuck in 2009, and yet they are still spamming the comment section on every single comment. They're replying to all of them, and almost immediately too. Which is why a lot of people don't comment anymore, because you can't really have a discussion since it's taken up with the bots. No sane person wants to leave a comment on a YouTube video and get 50 notifications just having their fucking phone blow up, vibrating like it's a perpetual Amber Alert, all with notifications that McButtmaster42 has replied to your comment 10 times saying the same shit like, hey, I'm making heaters over here, stop by. So obviously most people don't want to comment anymore because of this. So it ruins whatever discussion may have taken place. Contrary to popular belief, I, and many others, do at least peruse the comments from time to time, especially on things like the Moist Meter, because I like to hear what other people are saying about the same movie or same game that I experienced, because I like it. I like to engage in that kind of discussion, which is why I like streaming on Twitch so much, because I get to real time go back and forth with actual human beings. But on YouTube, humanity is extinct in the comment section, overrun by the machines. It's full-blown Skynet. If Skynet was run by actual fucking imbeciles. It's straight up dog shit. It's blatantly obvious bots. And when it's not just the same copy and pasted shit, what they're doing is they'll have like a picture of some girl's fat fucking titties, like some big honking milkers, and it'll say like, tap here for sex with me, and then they'll copy and paste whatever the top comment is that looks like it was made by someone with a pulse. So for example, on one of my Elden Ring videos, if the top comment was, wow, Charlie might be the most talented gamer of all time, he truly has achieved Turbo Super Gamer Barbarian status, then the tap sex for me, tap me for sex, fucking tap here for sex with me, those channels with like big ass out, like goat seeing themselves in the profile picture, what they'll do is they'll copy and paste that comment as their own so that way it doesn't look like they're a bot, hoping that someone will read that comment, think it was a real person that made it, and then click on their channel and get scammed. Because you're not having sex with that person, it's just a bot, but it's pretty smart in that it's copy and pasting a comment from a real person and trying to make it like their own. So it's such a fucking war zone of garbage in the comment section, all fought by non-humans, just actual robots. So it is ruining the comment section. It genuinely is, and it has been for like a full year now. And it's not just like the sexual scams like MILFs are looking for you, click here to watch me spread my pussy and say your name. More than just that, even aside from that, there's one that is bigger, a much more prevalent comment ruining trend. And it comes from verified channels, actual YouTube channels, real fucking verified checkmark channels, and they are all leaving the same copy and pasted note on every single channel. And I'm sure you've seen it, and you will see it under this one, and it goes something like this. We can all agree that this YouTuber never disappoints us with their content. And it usually has like a lot of, thumbs up, the updoots off the charts, because it seems like a positive statement. And it's coming from a verified channel, so people that are human beings are most likely just clicking the updoot on that, and they'll say like, oh yeah, that was sweet, agreed, super sweet, this YouTuber's amazing. But what it is that verified channel is just pasting that on every single channel they can find. It is, again, a bot. They're not manually doing it. I am certain that they're using a bot or some kind of script to paste that on every channel that they can find that has like any following whatsoever, in the hopes that when people see that, they're like, oh, this verified YouTuber is also a fan of my favorite YouTuber. Let me check out their content. They're being really supportive. Let's see what they're about. So they're hoping they'll leech a couple of people from the comment section by pretending like they care about what they watched. Even though they didn't watch it, they're not being supportive. It's just more copy and paste. It's all so similar, but they do change it up occasionally. For example, this verified YouTuber has left this exact comment on my videos for the last couple months. I tell ya, he must really love the consistency and quality of my content. And I love the consistency and quality of his comments too. Very insightful. He's very much into it, I can tell. So like I said, it's a ton of variations, but they're all saying the same shit, and it's copy and pasted everywhere on the platform. We can all agree legendary creators like this make our days. We can all come to an agreement here that fucking epic YouTubers like this make our dicks rock fucking hard, baby. Make sure to click my channel. I'm verified. Check it out. Don't forget. It's disgusting. It's shameless. And I can't imagine it even works, because when you go to their channels, and I have made the mistake of checking it out, they only get like maybe 10 views on the videos. Like, I don't want to give any of the channels away here because they're looking for attention, obviously. But one of them had like 500,000 subs, and all of their videos had less than 200 views. So either this YouTuber fell off harder than Simba's dad in The Lion King, or it's a bot. Fake. And their subscribers are not humans. They just paid for it, and they're all bots. Not a legitimate account. Now, there's really nothing to do as the YouTuber here to combat this phenomenon happening in the comment section. You can set like blocks on certain phrases, words, links, and all that, but they somehow always find a way to get around it. Just like Jacksepticeye mentioned. They'll change certain phrases, they'll change a couple of things, and somehow it just slips on by again. There's just no way to really stop it. It'd have to come from YouTube's end to verify whether or not the account posted in the comment is a legitimate account or a bot. And I don't have like the real solution here. I don't have the answers. I just wanted to talk about the problem. There is no solution at the moment, but I would love if the comment section could actually be going back to human beings discussing things and human beings embarrassing themselves instead of robots doing it and trying to scam each other. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this since Jacksepticeye brought it up, and a lot of people have noticed it in my comment section as well and have been asking me about it to do something. There's not a whole lot I can do. This would have to come from YouTube's end as a platform-wide change in how they identify what are and are not bots. That's like the only way to stop it, and I don't know if that's coming anytime soon. I don't even know how they'd do it if they tried, but I just wanted to at least bring it to your attention and let you all know that yes, I see what's going on too, and I'm also not happy about it. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. Christmas is right around the corner, and you know what Santa Claus brought to one lucky YouTuber this holiday season? A lump of coal and 150 takedown notices on their YouTube channel. I guess Mr. Claus really wanted to speed run a world record for most videos taken down in a single day because god damn. He whipped out his jolly old Saint Dick and slapped it right across this YouTuber's face. Today, a channel called Totally Not Mark, who has a history of covering Toei animation properties such as the Dragon Ball franchise and One Piece, posted this video saying that 150 videos of theirs were taken down by Toei Animations. He goes on to state that they were unjustly taken down because his content is transformative, it reviews, it critiques, it analyzes the properties without just re-uploading them or anything like that, thus it should be protected by fair use. Which it is. Now, if his channel was just playing a completely unedited One Piece episode while he's stuffing his face with popcorn, greasy-fingered, and playing with his nipples or something, and not really doing anything, and just just having the whole episode uploaded with him just sitting there, then they'd have a case for they are stealing the content, thus we're going to take down his video on it. But his whole channel is about the review of anime and discussing it and analyzing it, and he completely transforms that content, and it's not like he's using extensive amounts of like unedited clips from the shows or the manga that he's looking at either. So he's in the right in thinking that it is some bullshit. But if you've been on YouTube for any length of time, really, you'll know that anime companies don't give a fuck about fair use. They don't give a shit, especially Toei Animations. You'll remember Team 4-Star, the people behind Dragon Ball Z Abridged. They had a video taken down and a strike on their channel while they were doing a cameo in the official Dragon Ball Z Kai show. So Toei literally had them doing a cameo while they were fucking them in the ass on YouTube. And in Mark's video here, he actually tells a similar story. Toei Animations apparently reached out to Mark and his channel in order to promote their content on it. And then they go and bury 150 of his videos, just throw that right in the shitter. To be honest, the most surprising thing about this video is the fact that they didn't strike his channel. Usually when Toei Animation has gone on these supervillain rampages, they don't just take down the videos and block them, they strike the channel for each video. So this really could have been 150 strikes in a single day for Mark and his channel. They could have banished him to the Shadow Realm. 150 strikes all at once just sends him straight to hell. That's usually how they conduct business when they go nuts to butts. This isn't the first time they've attacked YouTubers before. As I mentioned, Team 4-Star, but they've also just attacked all kinds of content creators, no matter their size, just for the most innocent shit. Like if there's a video of an 8-year-old drawing Goku on a piece of paper in crayon, they'll probably strike down that video at some point. They just are ruthless and they don't give a fuck. So I'm not surprised to see they did this, it's just always upsetting when they do. I'm sure if he fought each of these claims, he would get the videos reinstated over time. But it's such a tedious, laborious process, and he mentions that as well, that it just takes so long. It would take years and years in order to get all of them back through that process. And I know a lot of people are blaming YouTube for it, and YouTube's a lot at fault because they have the tools that allows a company like this to abuse them. And it is always frustrating to see how hands-off they are when their system gets abused. They just say, oh, we'll just handle it with them. You guys can take care of it. We're not going to do shit about it. Fuck it. You guys go, play in the sandbox and make sandcastles of legal disputes. We're not touching it. That's always fucking awful. But I think people really need to focus on the fact that it is Toei Animations that have chose to abuse this shit and attack content creators. And it's not just YouTubers, by the way. I know they've done this on a lot of like anime sites that just like to talk about anime and just go over and critique certain things. I know for a fact they have also issued legal takedowns for other websites as well over the years. They truly just don't give a fuck about anyone else and are just so stuck in these archaic ways where they have to like lock down their property and rule it with an iron fist where no one else is allowed to even mention it unless they have paid Toei Animations money to do so. No matter how within their rights they are to critique and review anime and even show images and clips from their shows, they don't care because they will drown out that with legal notices in their legal department. Toei Animations has a lot of money and they can bully people around with it, and they do, and they have for a long time. This is just the most recent and the most grand example. 150 videos in a single day is nuts. They were taking down one video every 3 minutes, judging by like the emails he showed. They were going wild. They had some intern at the office working overtime. Dude was going fucking Ultra Instinct, double fisting mice, issuing takedowns at light speed, just to really fuck Mark's channel here in the ass. It's just really sad, and there is something else I'd like to talk about that's not just this, but it's related. Japan has this problem and this really out of touch view on the internet. And this is just another example of it. They view this channel as like a threat to their property, or it's infringing on their property and it's bad for them. It's not promotional unless they say it is. And that extends beyond just Toei Animations and the anime industry in general. I'd like to quickly tell you a story about an agency in Japan called Johnny & Associates. They represent a lot of big groups in Japan, a lot of big influencers, and just very important people and celebrities in Japan. They rep them. And they are fucking scary. They're less of a talent agency and more of a corrupt military. So if you've played the Yakuza series, you've probably also heard of Judgment. Judgment stars a very popular Japanese actor named Takeya Kimura. Takeya Kimura is represented by Johnny and Associates. And there's a reason why the most recent Judgment game will be the last one most likely, and it's because they're so afraid of the internet and having Kimura's picture on the internet. They take this so seriously that when he is doing something without their complete blessing, they will take the publication and blank him out. Here's an example. He was on this magazine cover, and then Johnny and Associates decided they didn't really want him there, so they pulled the magazine cover and then grayed him out, literally censored him. He looks like an upcoming challenger in Super Smash Bros. Melee. So they turned him into this gray silhouette because they were afraid with the PC port of this game, his image would appear on the internet, and that's a scary place for a lot of companies in Japan, it seems. So they like the complete control, and they feel like if his image was on the internet, they'd lose that ability to control everything. And that extends to other places in Japan like Toei Animation and like Nintendo. Who remembers about 10 years ago, you couldn't even post videos of Nintendo games on YouTube without risking your channel being taken down, because they would actively strike any videos that showed like Mario Kart Wii or Super Mario Galaxy or anything like that. They would strike your channel because you didn't have their express written permission to showcase that, even though you were totally within your right to review those games or, talk about those games, analyze those games. They didn't care. Nintendo would still go and take down channels because they wanted that complete full control over it. So it's not just Toei Animation, it's a big problem in just all of these industries in Japan, it seems, and anime's a big one. So now, what can the Totally Not Marked channel do in order to fight these 150 claims without going through each one individually and trying to, take it through litigation and get it solved legally, because that's just going to take years. I think he said it'd take 37 years to go through the proper channels. So what does he do? I think posting the video is the right first step, and he mentions that he will no longer be supporting the company. And he's a big channel, and I imagine a lot of his followers are very upset at Toei Animations for doing this. So him not supporting that company anymore, and he said he's not going to see any more Dragon Ball Super, their new movie, he's not going to see it. And he's encouraging his subscribers and his fans to do the same. And I think that's the right way of handling it. They need to put pressure on Toei Animations to realize that what they did was wrong and release the claims themselves. They went through the trouble of filing 150 blocks on those videos. They can go through the trouble of unblocking them. It is an absolute bogus bullshit reason they gave for the blocking. It was completely transformative material from everything I can see on the channel. So there should have been absolutely no ground for them to do that in the first place, but they abused a broken system and got away with it for now. I do hope for a good ending to the story for the Totally Not Marked channel. I really hope the videos do get reinstated. And I just wanted to talk about it because it is just a fucked up situation all around. That's about it. So yeah. Many of you watching this may have been experiencing a problem that you don't have an answer to, and it's left you cold, alone, and scared. But don't worry. I'm here to shine a light in your life and give you the answers you've been seeking. Over the last couple days, a lot of you watching this have probably experienced YouTube running slower than me after a night of heavy drinking. And there's a reason for it. It's not your fault. You're blameless here. You're a victim. Over the last few days, many innocent users have reported issues with YouTube where videos either won't load, will endlessly buffer, completely freeze their entire browser, and just a numerous smorgasbord of other problems when trying to watch YouTube videos or even just use YouTube as a platform. And there's still a little confusion around exactly what happened here. There was a lot of scrambling and panic to figure out what's going on. If it was on YouTube's end, did they secretly roll out an update that ended up fucking itself in the ass or something, or what exactly is happening behind the scenes? But one thing that has been confirmed is that this doesn't apply to everybody, but everyone that is affected has one thing in common: ad blockers. So if you are one of these individuals that can't load videos right now, or videos that do load start buffering and freezing and don't really get fixed, or your entire browser slows down when you're trying to watch a YouTube video, turn off your ad block right now and it'll fix the problem lickety-split. It's the one simple solution, the secret that YouTube doesn't want you to know. Try it yourself right now, and I guarantee that your problem will be solved instantly. Now, the cause of this isn't 100% known at the moment. Some sources are reporting that it might actually be an ad block issue as opposed to something YouTube is doing on their end on purpose. Even though this does seem like a nefarious plan YouTube might try given their stance on ad blockers over the last year, where they've made it very clear they view it as the ultimate evil. Like, they're doing their best to crack down on adblock usage, and this PC Gamer article does touch on that, but states that even though this fits into their MO, it's probably not them causing it. They even had a comment from Christopher Lawton, who's YouTube's community manager, that said, loading delays experienced by AdBlock and AdBlock Plus users are not caused by our AdBlock detection efforts. And then goes into more detail about all of it, and even mentions that that statement can be taken with a pinch of salt, given YouTube's track record. Now, obviously, I'm super dumb stink brain when it comes to very technical things like this. However, when I started experiencing this problem a few days ago, I tested on multiple browsers with like native built-in AdBlock and still got the same problem. So I don't know if it's specific to just AdBlock and AdBlock Plus. It seems like it's a more widespread issue than that, which leads me to personally believe YouTube has some kind of hand in this at the moment. The motivation for doing something like this should be pretty clear. They'd want to drive users to either turn off their AdBlock or subscribe to YouTube Premium, which gives you the ad-free experience, and I've tested with my YouTube Premium account, no problems whatsoever. None. Not a single hiccup. Smooth sailing. So if this really is part of YouTube's strategy here to get users to do one of those two things, that shit is tragic. To ruin their service for anyone that doesn't play by their no AdBlock rule or pay for it is rough. That's brutal. Now, when I first started experiencing this, I did the number one thing I always do when experiencing a problem. I called up Matt to see if he was having the same thing, which I bet a lot of you have noticed is a very common trend where anytime something's gone awry, I immediately phone a friend and call Matt. He's like my Powerpuff Girls and I'm the mayor. I just always hit the hotline and beg him to help me fix something. But he wasn't at the time, so I wrote it off as it just being some kind of glitch or some kind of service outage that I was experiencing. I didn't want to toy around with the idea that I was the one boofing loony juice here, thinking that YouTube was artificially shitifying its platform for anyone with an ad block. They've made it very clear how much they hate ad blocks and they've waged an open war on it, but this feels like some kind of war crime, to make the platform almost unusable for anyone that uses an ad block. That seems too far. That's like using Agent Orange or White Phosphorus in a battle. Again, nothing is completely confirmed here with what happened in all of this hoopla, if it's YouTube's fault or if it's something that went awry with the ad blocks. PC Gamer makes a great article that makes strong arguments for it being an ad block problem, not a YouTube one. However, there is a mention of uBlock Origin not being affected there, and from what I've heard from people I've talked to, as well as what people were saying on stream, uBlock was affected briefly, but they quickly rolled out an update that fixed it. So if it was an ad block problem, I don't see why that would have also affected uBlock temporarily, if it truly did, if those are real reports. And also, it wouldn't explain why when I tried to use other browsers with their built-in ad block, I also still experienced the problem. To me, it still seems a little more widespread than just that, but perhaps it really isn't a YouTube issue. It's just, right now, to me, it seems like YouTube may have had some kind of hand in it, but again, no one knows for sure right now. All we know is it's a big stinking mess here, and hopefully it gets sorted out, and hopefully this isn't an actual strategy here from YouTube to push people to pay for premium or turn off their ad block, because that'd be super scummy. That'd be very bad. That'd be super naughty, YouTube, if you're watching this. Yucky. Hopefully that's not the case. I talked about it a little deeper on stream and talked with Stream about their experience with it, so I'll go ahead and show you all that. Ad blocker gang. You just reminded me of something. Anyone using an ad blocker, have you noticed YouTube being almost unusable? Because I use an ad blocker, and YouTube will not load a single video for me anymore. It stutters, it freezes, it stops. Overwhelmingly, yes. So they're artificially doing that, right? They have to be. Because on this account where I have YouTube Premium, it's totally fine. Or if I go incognito, it's totally fine, because the ad block is off. And I've talked to a bunch of people, and it's 50-50 on people that use ad block and having an horrible experience and people that are still fine. So I'm thinking what's happening is they're rolling out, like very slowly and subtly, this artificial shitification of this YouTube service if you're using an ad block. So instead of just going whole hog so everyone's experiencing it, it's only certain people, like certain chunks. Yeah, that's actually already been confirmed. Has it? I haven't heard about it. I remember there was like a theory floating around a couple months ago that that might happen, but I didn't think that got confirmed. YouTube is on a war against ad blockers. The video platform has been deliberately reducing its site speed for viewers who use ad blocker. The strategy of slowing down the platform started last year and is now reportedly reaching more users. This was reported 22 hours ago. From Ars Technica as well. Yeah, wait, so this is actually confirmed. No tinfoil hat conspiracy here, this is the goddamn truth. A video at the top of Reddit post shows what some users are seeing. A video with an ad block on can't load quick enough to keep up with the playback speed, which isn't normal, it's maybe 2x, and has to pause at around 30 seconds. Turning off the ad block immediately improves loading performance, with the white line on YouTube's progress bar showing significantly more buffering runway. Users report that the ad block detection causes strange issues like lag. Yes, it doesn't work sometimes. That makes full screen or comments not work, or Chrome being unable to load other web pages while YouTube is open. It like tanks the entire performance of your PC if you try and use YouTube with an ad block right now, for me. They're not just fighting ad block, they're actively making non-premium account usage worse. I don't know, because if I just turn off the ad block, it fixes it right away. So I feel like it's just ad block. Obviously trying to push you subtly to get premium, but if you turn off ad block, it fixes it. And I've tried this with every browser too. When ad block is on, it shitifies the experience on YouTube. When ad block is off, it's fine. I've done this with every browser I can find right now, except Edge, because I'm not even going to bother. But everything I try it on, this happens. So that's why videos keep lagging. Yeah, that is 100% why. If you turn off your ad block right now, I guarantee whatever video you're trying to watch, smooth sailing. I literally looked this all up and they updated uBlock Origin and fixed it. Well, if you're using uBlock, I guess maybe that fixes it. I don't know. I don't use uBlock. I just use the ad block. And then I use the built-in ad block for the others as well. Maybe that's also the reason for the audio lags during your stream on YouTube. Oh, interesting. Yeah, for everyone that reports the audio lag occasionally on YouTube streams, maybe it is because of the ad block. That is very interesting, because Twitch doesn't have that problem, and it's not an OBS problem, because I can see it on my end. So maybe that is why. It lags your entire browser if you have a YouTube tab open with ad block. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. It makes the entire fucking computer run worse if you do that. It's crazy. It's craziness. That has to be illegal, right? Am I on crazy pills right now, or is that like actually illegal? Tanking your service to try and push people to a paid version of it or something? There's no way that's allowed. What would that even be called? Extortion. I don't know about extortion. That might not apply. They own it, they can do what they wish, they believe. Yeah, but you can make an argument that YouTube is somewhat of a monopoly, and by tanking its service like this to try and push you to the premium or whatever, or punish users for trying to use its service in a free capacity, that it's gotta be some kind of violation. Like, there's absolutely some kind of consumer protection for shit like that. Apple did it with their phones to push its users to get new phones. And didn't they face a huge issue for that? Yeah, iPhone owners were part of a class action lawsuit against Apple alleging it deliberately slowed down its old iPhones to get people to upgrade to the latest model, and they're finally getting their payout. A judge has cleared the way for the payments to proceed, as reported last week by SiliconValley.com. So they did face repercussions for it. You can't do that, really. Oh, and they're paying out $113 million. That's some big clams. That's literally nothing to Apple, though? No, but it's still a big settlement. And it still shows that you can't do that. Like, you're not really allowed. Have you had a gooning sesh today, brother? You need Jesus. ASAP. God bless. Good Lord. No gooning for me today. Dude turned off the ad blocks and the computer's running 100% better. That's actually insane. I know, it's not a conspiracy. They are actually just doing it. Guys, gooning is just jacking off. Oh my god, don't you ever say that again. Not in this dojo. Not in this sanctuary. Gooning is like 10 levels above just jacking off. Watch what you say, mister. Wash your mouth out with some soap. When you think of demons, you probably think of the mainstream normie names like Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Lucifer. What if I told you there's another demon out there, a very real one that not too many people know the name of, but probably should? Smash Bandicoot. When Dante made the venture into the deepest pits of hell, there was one circle he too feared to speak on. The Smash Bandicoot cringe lair. If you look up his name on YouTube, you can't even find his channel anymore because it's buried underneath all of these videos that document his years of awful behavior and downright insanity. After taking the plunge into the deep dark rabbit hole of Smash Bandicoot, I'm pretty sure this is the same guy from 2012 that was arrested for eating a man's face off in Miami. This guy is what I imagine a real jet addict from the Fallout universe would look like if given flesh in our corporeal realm. Now, I'm not going to focus on all of the allegations from the past about him. I'm going to focus on what he is currently doing, openly admitting to, and just got absolutely slapped for by YouTube. This is less of a video about Smash Bandicoot and more of a video about a huge YouTube W. So, Smash Bandicoot recently concocted a nefarious scheme to falsely copyright strike channels that he didn't like. So, he targeted a YouTuber named Cartoonshi. He flooded the channel with 3 copyright strikes, which then put it on the 7-day doomsday clock for Judgment Day. If you don't know how the strike system works on YouTube, if you get 3 strikes, you lose your channel in a week unless you prove that they're a bunch of malarkey, the claims aren't real. So Cartoonshi was facing channel termination. He also wasn't the only one that Smash Bandicoot was doing this to, and he didn't have any real grounds for striking. They were fraudulent, and he celebrated the fact they were fraudulent openly, blatantly. So apparently this guy named Smash Bandicoot is copyright striking someone that he doesn't like. And their account is in a bad spot right now because of it. He's attempting to dox him and get his channel banned. Okay. So Smash Bandicoot is a YouTuber? Smash Bandicoot has harassed not only Cartoonshi, but also myself and various other creators. This person is removing content that includes nothing he made in what is clear bad faith, and then tagging YouTube. Just spamming fucking die. Man, this guy he is on the crack pipe. Yeah, this man's got a whole Lord of the Rings movie covering Smash Bandicoot. And I am tempted to take the plunge. This is apparently Smash gloating on one of his many accounts that he likes to make where he's celebrating this and acting as if he's some kind of omniscient god figure who's, controlling the hands of fate, the puppet master. I will not deliver the 3rd strike, which he eventually did. This is a mere lesson. If he wants to continue making content, he can, but I will not revoke. In exchange for letting both of you get set free, however, you must tell me who are the content creators both of you have friended on Discord, delete the recording, and guide me, then I shall set you both free. For once, don't be a pathetic, arrogant, and not gonna continue forward there. He was trying to use these strikes as a way at getting back at people he didn't like. Now, the bad blood between all of these people in Smash goes way back over nothing. This is a mentally unwell individual that needs professional help, for sure. Like I said, I'm not getting into all of the allegations over the years they've been a nuisance, but it is some weird, not good shit. So this has reached the boiling point. He's harbored this grudge for 4 years and then came up with these strikes. He's claiming certain things about these videos that he has absolutely no right to, and as you saw, he openly just celebrates that they're not legitimate, but he's able to abuse the system, which has been a problem on YouTube for a long time. So, obviously, Cartoonshi and the other YouTubers that have been falling victim to this were panicking about it, thinking they were going to, lose their channel or just be in like a terrible standing on the platform. But YouTube, in recent years, I don't know how many people know this, has really started singing a different tune when it comes to this type of exploitation. They've been pretty solid about addressing it and fixing it. It might not always be as fast as it should, but the fact that they're at least doing that is such a significant improvement. I've mentioned this case a couple times over the last few years, but in 2019, they absolutely teed off of a fucking douchebag's face for this type of copyright strike abusing. There was a false flagger who repeatedly false flagged Minecrafters and then tried to hold them ransom, I'll release the strike only if you pay me via PayPal. YouTube actually took him to court and slapped him with $25,000 right to the goddamn noggin. They took him over his knee, spanked his cheeks red with discipline, and kind of put the kibosh on that with an exclamation point, really. And in recent times, they have been stepping in and fixing problems like this. And I'm happy to say they did just that. So Cartoonshi made a post today talking about how the strikes are disappearing, which is great. They say, my strikes are being removed. I've got one more left that should be sorted out shortly. I want to thank everyone who reached out to help and managed to spread the word. The support from the past 2 days has been insane. I'm tired and need sleep. And I'm sure he slept with a nice wet dream knowing that he foiled the great Smash Bandicoot's plot. And he would have got away with it if not for those meddling kids. Now, if you're at all familiar with Smash Bandicoot, then may God have mercy on your soul. You'll know one of the things that they like to do is he likes to make a ton of different accounts for many types of sorted purposes. In fact, when I briefly covered this topic on stream 2 days ago, within 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, he somehow went into my chat on multiple different accounts to spam gobbledygook, just actual gibberish that he was caps locking and screaming to the heavens. How he even knew I was talking about him is beyond me, because it had been less than 10 minutes since his name left my mouth. That is how online he is all of the time. He's like the fucking NSA. It's crazy. And he has tons of accounts that he uses these things for. So the question naturally becomes, what stops him from just doing this again and striking more channels? Well, that's another thing YouTube's also been pretty good about in recent years. There have been no shortage of weirdos like Smash Bandicoot that try this. And usually when they fail, that's the end of the discussion because YouTube actually swats these flies pretty effectively. So once they deem that all of this is a bunch of baloney, they make some kind of note in their system or something because obviously they have this guy's information. And clearly they've set the precedent of they're not afraid to go to court over these things and punish people legally, financially for it. So I'm guessing what happens is YouTube is somehow able to, I don't know, like blacklist them internally so that way they can't be submitting strike claims anymore. At least that's my little game theory on it. But usually you don't see them do this anymore. And I have to imagine that's something on YouTube's side for this kind of abuse. Which is, of course, a very good thing because pieces of shit like this should not be allowed to continue to do that. So, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because it is one of those situations where it has a happy ending. And I'm happy to see YouTube going in this direction where they seem to really be taking these kind of matters more seriously. And I can only hope that that continues and maybe at some point down the line there'll be a more effective system in place with blocks and checks that won't allow fraudulent strikes to go through in the first place. Because it is scary to have to drum up a lot of like hoopla online through Twitter noise and getting people to be aware of the situation before YouTube is. It'd be better if YouTube knew right away or had creators had a way of contacting YouTube like, hey, look, here's the proof that all these claims are fraudulent. Can we do something about this? Like if there was some kind of system in place for that, it'd be better than the current one, which is, again, making it go viral on Twitter, which is exactly what this Smash Bandicoot saga did do, which is how they became aware of it, I imagine, through all of that. Again, it's a happy ending, but I do still hope they continue to go in this, upward trajectory, this forward direction, the right path, and continue to improve upon it, so that way it can be even more effective down the line. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. It's good to see that the strikes are being removed from his channel, as well as the other victims of the goddamn diabolical Smash Bandicoot here, and hopefully that'll be the end of that story and he won't be trying anything else like that in the future. That's really about it. So yeah. I know it's often hard to feel special or unique in this world full of so many people, but what if I told you that you, asshole, are actually part of history right now? You are a small footnote in what I believe to be an unbeatable world record that was just set that will stand the test of time forever. And 50 years from now, you'll be able to look back on this and tell your grandkids exactly where you were on this day. Now, I know I've made this bold claim before, back when I proudly proclaimed that I had an unbeatable world record in Mr. Krabs' overdoses on ketamine and dies speedrunning, and I may have been wrong there, but history never repeats itself. This time I'm not wrong. A YouTuber named Gilva has been crowned champion of YouTube copyright takedown requests. Nintendo used him like a fleshlight. He set the undisputed record of most videos taken down in a single week, blowing the asshole off of the previous world record. Gilva over the last week had 3,500 of his videos taken down by Nintendo. Our good friends at Nintendo. I swear to God, my jaw always hits the floor anytime I see them use the internet in any capacity. It blows me away that they even know what it is at this point with how awful Nintendo Online is. There's no doubt they're still using dial-up, and what makes this even more impressive to me is how confident I am in saying that this was not an automated process. Normally you'd see this and be like, oh, Nintendo just used a bot and took down all of this copyrighted material. But I just don't believe that's the case with Nintendo. They're probably afraid of bots. They probably think they're going to get their shit hacked, like the bot's gonna tap into their digital alarm clock, gain sentience, and steal their souls or something. So I truly believe they just had some unpaid interns manually go through 3,500 of Gilvasunner's videos and go through the tedious, laborious process of filing the copyright takedowns manually on each of them. And 3,500 takedowns is absolutely absurd. That is such a fucking crazy amount. If you ate a single M&M for each takedown here, you'd be diabetic by the end of it. It's fucking wild. Now, what was Gilvasunner's content that elicited such a response from Nintendo? Gilvasunner is a channel that re-uploaded Nintendo music because Nintendo themselves doesn't officially publish it anywhere that I can find. It's not on Spotify, and they don't release it digitally anywhere, at least not from what I've been able to find or what I've been able to pick up from the community. So they have YouTubers that do it for them, but not official YouTubers, just fans of Nintendo properties will take and upload video game soundtrack from Nintendo properties and post it on YouTube so that way people can listen to it and enjoy it without having to fire up the Nintendo Switch, plug their headphones into it, and walk around with a Switch in their pocket just to listen to their favorite Smash Bros. Song. Which is obviously impractical, and that's still not even a real solution because the Switch will turn itself off after a certain amount of time, so you'd have to just keep playing the game to keep hearing the music. So the only way that Nintendo fans can enjoy the soundtracks is from channels like Gilvasunner. And so Nintendo is just too fucking lazy and out of touch to do it for themselves, so fans took the responsibility and uploaded it so that way people could enjoy it. And the music slaps. Nintendo music has always slapped. But Nintendo's finally starting to strike back, and they targeted Gilvasunner first. I don't know if he was necessarily the biggest channel for it, but they came at him with the condom off. They stretched his ass out. There was no mercy here at WrestleMania. Nintendo went wild. So the thing is, Nintendo is completely within their right to do this. This is their property. They can defend it however they like, and they always do. You see them millions of times taking down fan projects. That's no surprise that they've done this. But it's really super scummy to think about it when there's no alternative, right? Like, if Nintendo had an official release for their soundtracks, or their soundtracks were on Spotify and other places, then yeah, obviously taking down channels like this makes sense, because why not just go to the official source? Why bother with the re-uploads from someone else that's not affiliated with it? But Nintendo took this shit down, and there is no alternative, so it's just buried now. Now you have to, let's say you're at a party and you're like, hey guys, let's listen to Luigi's Mansion soundtrack. You can't just be like, pass me the aux cord. It's going to be like, all right, pass me the GameCube so I can set it up and fire up Luigi's Mansion and listen to the soundtrack. Because that's the only way you can do it. There's no other, official way of listening to Nintendo property music other than the YouTubers who are re-uploading it, which is illegal, of course. Nintendo can take it down, but I don't see why they do when they don't upload the official soundtrack themselves. If they were going to start uploading the music themselves, then sure, take that shit down. And I'm sure even the channels will be like, hey, that's fine because we can't even monetize it anyway. It's not like it affects them that much. So it is pretty shitty if you ask me. Of course, it is fully within their right to do so, but they don't have an official way of listening to this music. Nintendo refuses to release it, and they've never fucking bothered. So why even target the people that are just uploading it as fans? They're not making money off it. They're not stealing customers from Nintendo. These fucking fossils that run Nintendo always surprise me with just how silly their decisions are. They are truly against fun, and they're just so behind the times, it's laughable. Again, look no further than Nintendo Online. I will always take every opportunity imaginable to warn people about Nintendo Online. I'm like one of those doomsday people that stand on the side of the road like, the end is coming, buy my eucalyptus oil or whatever. It is really that bad. I will always take every chance I can to drop my pants and plant a little stinker sprinkler right on the Nintendo Online service and talk about how shitty it is. You are paying for the worst online service in the business. It is a joke. And Nintendo charging for it is nothing shy of Nintendo spitting in your face. It is downright unusable on certain games. It's so fucking garbage. And Nintendo doesn't care. They don't improve it. They don't bother. It's pathetic. You're better off trying to like fucking Wi-Fi battle with your friends while you're both stealing internet from a local McDonald's that happens to be dilapidated while during a thunderstorm. Like, that's the kind of service you get when using Nintendo Online. It is trash. And they don't do anything about it, and they still charge you money for it. Instead, they focus their attention elsewhere, like striking down YouTube channels that are just re-uploading their most popular songs that they themselves refuse to publish anywhere. Nintendo could easily sell these soundtracks and make a killing off it, but they don't. And I think it's the fear of what if the music gets stolen or some shit. I really can't wrap my head around why they choose not to. But I wanted to talk about this because 3,500 videos being taken down is massive. And the channel still has about 6,400 videos still up. So that number, it could still get pumped up a little bit. Nintendo may only just be beginning. Like, maybe the interns needed to take a break, or maybe they had to, you know, go to the hospital after work exhaustion, and they're just going to have to get another wave in for more takedowns. We could see that number really fucking blow up soon. Like, it's 3,500 now, but it still has the potential to almost get to that 10K mark. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's something I wanted to talk about. It's not surprising to see. Nintendo has always been ruthless with the way it handles its copyright enforcement. They are more fucking vicious than Viacom. And they're so out of touch that sometimes they forget that time zones exist. I remember when Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity came out, the game released a little early in places like Australia because they were a little ahead, so they had the game a bit early. So people started streaming Age of Calamity, and Nintendo struck them down and had their channels banned because they didn't understand how time zones worked. So, you know, if you're going to do anything Nintendo related, like post videos about it or content around Nintendo, just be careful. So yeah, I obviously feel really bad for Gilva Sunner here, who put so many years of work into this. I believe it was 11 years worth of re-uploading soundtrack from their favorite titles completely for free, making $0 off it, spending a ton of time on this channel, only for Nintendo to come in here and take it all down without even offering an alternative. So now that music is just gone for people to enjoy. They can't do it now. So Gilva Sunner announced that he would be closing the channel in the next few days, which is extremely sad. There is still 6,400 videos on it, so I wish he wouldn't close the channel. I'd really like to see, at least maybe if they decide to overturn their decision, maybe they, you know, have a change of heart. You know, the power of friendship finally wins like it does in all of Nintendo's games. Maybe they're like, hey, maybe we're the bad guy. We'll put it back up, at least until we announce our official soundtrack source. You know, I really just don't like when, you know, someone like Gilva Sunner decides it's not worth keeping it up, because I always think it is. And even if nothing else, why not just extend that world record, man? You got 3,500 takedowns in a week. Like, let's see if we can hit that, like, fucking 10,000 mark. You know, it's right in our sights. It's, like, we can see the finish line. Just gotta keep the channel up. Gotta believe, you know? But anyway, I just wanted to share this story because it was again, another instance of Nintendo being a joyless, soulless corporation, and it makes me fucking upset. Because I do like their games, always have, but I've never liked the company. At least not since it's been very clear that they hate their customers and their fans. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. That's about it. So yeah. You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to get out that tinfoil butt plug and put it deep, because we're looking into more YouTube conspiracies. This one's not exactly a conspiracy per se. That's not the nomenclature I would use in this case. In a nutshell, what's happening is YouTube is changing their verification criteria, and they've decided to de-verify a large portion of their verified creators on the platform for really no reason. No one understands why. There's really no reason that anyone can pick apart as to why they're removing verification from users. And I thought, as the ace detective on YouTube, it was my responsibility to kind of figure out why this is happening. I'm like the fucking Jessica Jones of YouTube, but with shorter hair. That's the only real difference. So I'll start by saying, yes, my channel is losing its verification status according to this message I got on YouTube, which I find odd because their new criteria isn't that different from the criteria of ye olden days, and it's not exactly like we're living in the wild, wild west of chaos with check marks everywhere. It's pretty fucking hard to get verified on YouTube as is already. In fact, you have to perform, well, you don't have to perform magic tricks or anything, but you have to submit like 3 different forms of identification. A friend of mine who has a bunch of subs way over the required 100,000 cannot get verified and hasn't been able to in 8 months because he needs like 6 different passports, 5 different aliases, a doctor's note, proof that he has a patent on technology. It's weird. The requirements are already astronomical. So the fact that people are verified is pretty rare these days anyway. So to take it away makes no sense whatsoever until you get into the conspiracy side, which is where I'm about to shine, baby. I'm about to rub those nipples really hard with some theories. So the main reason why anyone can pick out why they would de-verify people is because they want to take away verification from people they don't support on the platform that might be a little problematic for them, a little too hot and spicy. That's one of the leading theories right now. But that theory kind of falls apart because channels like Takedowns got their verification taken away, which, you know, that's about as innocent as it gets. That's just kind of fun little gaming biology lessons and such. But what if gaming's the problem? Gamers may be rising up too hard. Maybe they're getting erect too fast. Maybe gamers to YouTube are the enemy. You see, if you look at it through that lens, then that makes perfect sense why Takedowns, of all people, would also lose verification. If you look at everyone else, a whole bunch of channels from a whole different spectrum of content are getting their verification taken away. So it's really hard to kind of lump it all together and figure out why. That is until I sat down with a pipe in hand, open bathrobe, and semi-chub and really used all thousands and thousands of IQs of my galaxy gamer brain, channeled every ounce of brain power I had, firing every neuron, all synapses going nuts on all cylinders, and I came to a conclusion on why they might want to redo verification and take some away. It's to promote big business. That's why the Jimmy Kimmels, the Jimmy Fallons, the Jimmy Bobimis, the Jimmy Timmys, and the Jimmy Timmy Power Hours, they want the brands, they want the companies to be the very few people that are verified, perhaps. And that makes perfect sense and very much in line with YouTube's more recent policies and stances. They want to be more like TV, a fucking dying medium, a dead medium, fucking put it 6 feet under in the grave, TV's dead. They want to be more like that, and they're speed running the dead business ideas. They're not going to die, by the way. That's just being exaggeratory. YouTube's probably too big to fail, but I like to toy with the idea that they're really trying to kill themselves in a really fun way. And this is definitely one way of doing it. You want to take away verification from people that aren't big brands and may be considered problematic. Yeah, that does make sense, because then you have the big brands as the only verified people, and it's a lot easier to find verified people than it is to find unverified channels on the platform. That's just a known fact. An unverified channel has a much lower chance of getting recommended than a verified one. It's just been proven a whole bunch of times. So if you're going to weaponize something on YouTube to kind of take your first steps into the battlefield of making brands the reigning king and take down the creators, the first step would be verification. It makes it harder to find a channel, and it also makes it easier for people to impersonate a channel, which means the audience gets divided, and then all of a sudden, it's a war of attrition. You start losing audience members because they think they're following the real one, but they're following a fake one. Shit gets really confusing really quickly because the verification is kind of important in that aspect. It's very easy, like I said, to impersonate. So when you don't have that there and you can't get it because you're not a big brand or a big musician, you're kind of fucked if someone wants to take your identity online. And check this shit out, it goes deeper. I'm connecting all the dots. I'm seeing all the strings that this puppeteer is making us dance with. If you combine this decision with verification removal with the most recent update that fucked creators right in their tight buttholes where they abbreviated public sub counts, you've got a recipe for fucking disaster. You got a recipe for chaos. You see, back in the olden days, at 100,000 subs, you could apply for verification. These days, you're not getting it. You damn near need to have to hop on a Skype call with YouTube reps, clap your ass cheeks together and bark like a seal and beg for verification. It's really fucking hard, damn near impossible, like I said. But let's say you did get it at 150,000 subs, you're pretty safe. You're not going to get impersonated successfully. But now that you lose your verification and your public sub count is abbreviated, it's really easy to impersonate you. Very much so, because your sub count isn't immediately visibly available to see. It's now in a less visible spot, and it's not as long. So you don't have the exact numbers. You just have it abbreviated, which makes it a shorter number. So if you click on your impersonator's channel and it's a lot less subs, it still kind of looks similar to yours because the amount of characters it takes up there is pretty close. So it's going to be very confusing, and especially on mobile, ooh, baby, you're going to have a real rough time not being verified. Shit's just going to be weird, I think. At least going by my conspiracy theory calculations, and I like to dive really deep into these things. Obviously, it might not be this sinister, but it's super fun to think about it as if it were. And it's even still, being totally real now, dropping all the sarcasm and all that shit, it makes no fucking sense. Why remove verification from people? YouTube gets shit on by everyone. Even the #1 content creator shits on this platform. People make fun of this platform. Other websites shit on it. Why do you want to just be the punchline of every joke, YouTube? You're just a cum dumpster of insults and the poster child for anti-anything. You suck to the people. You really do. And it's shit like this. You just keep digging your own grave. They say that this is supposed to help with confusion, but what's the logic of this? We took away his verification to help people find you. Now you know who the real one is, right? Well, no, because you remove the verification. It's counterproductive to what you're saying you want it to do. It makes it more confusing. It makes it harder to see who the real one is. It just makes no fucking sense. It's so fucking dumb. You want to rework verification? That's totally fine. Go for it. But why take it away from people that already had it? And it was already working for them. It's super stupid. Super dumb. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to more conspiracy theories, baby. Fuck yeah. That's about it. See ya. Ah, shit. Almost threw up from the stupid update.
Yesterday, Discord was in the holiday spirit, feeling particularly quirky with a silly, goofy mood. They decided to make an April Fool's Day video about how loot boxes were coming to Discord. A big old joke. But the joke ended up being on YouTube itself because Discord inadvertently created the most potent Viewbot YouTube has ever seen. Right now, the 17-second Discord short is at 628 million views with 53,000 likes and 5,200 comments. So you can tell something's a little fishy there, something's gone awry. That's a ton of views and not much engagement. This video has now set the record for most views in 24 hours, and it's an unbreakable record. I think even if Jesus Christ rose from the ground right now and started vlogging his experience about what heaven is like, there wouldn't be 600 million people that clicked on that video in 24 hours. It wouldn't even come close. It probably wouldn't even beat GTA 6 in 24 hours, which had like 100 mil in 24. This is an unbeatable record now, because of Discord's accidental Viewbot that they implemented. Discord's April Fool's Day prank was like the fucking Manhattan Project for YouTube. They created the nuclear bomb for the platform that cost them a ton of money and just obliterate their AdSense. Like, I'm very curious how much money this video made. It's only 17 seconds, so it's not getting like a ton of like RPM or anything, but still, with that many views, that's probably still like at least 50-60 grand, I would imagine. But the most substantial hit to YouTube here is the infrastructure, where they have to feed 600 million views to a video that no one is actually watching, thus they're not really making anything on. It's also 17 seconds in the first place, which again isn't something they make a lot on anyway. So it's just costing YouTube a ton of money just hosting a video that's getting that amount of traction from what is fundamentally fake views. So how did Discord do it, and are they going to jail for this criminal action? To tackle the first question here, I'll turn to this series of tweets from Marvin. Discord managed to create a working YouTube Viewbot in 2024 by playing their loot box announcement trailer on loop in the background of the in-app toast. When asked to break the magician's code and reveal what the in-app toast was, Marvin explains that it's the little pop-up in the bottom right of your Discord app. So as I understand it, since the video was embedded in Discord itself and looping, anyone who was just normally using Discord over the last 24 hours was accidentally contributing to this monstrous view count here for the video. Another Twitter user said that they could have sworn YouTube embeds that autoplay don't give the embedded video views, and Marvin explains that they actually do. From my own research, embedded video views do actually count to the view count, but he assumed that YouTube would dedupe the view count later, which it doesn't seem like they have yet, or there's no sign if they ever will either. It also seems the top brass at Discord didn't know that this would happen. This all seems to be a happy little accident here. Here's one of the higher ups at Discord expressing their confusion. How the fuck is this video getting so many views? Unable to recognize that in the pursuit of science they may have gone too far, playing God. They were blinded by this insatiable appetite to create the ultimate April Fool's prank. They only asked if they could, never if they should. Their creation became too powerful. I'm sure many of you remember Wumpus, God rest his soul. He used to be the face of Discord, the head honcho, the man in charge, the puppeteer behind the curtains pulling the strings. That was back when Discord still leaned heavy into dank meme culture, so every time you open the app it just blasted you with cringe, like, need to construct additional pylons to overflow our meme capacitors. All your base are belong to us, tee-hee-hee. Zoinks, and don't even get me started on what would happen if you made the mistake of filing a support ticket, because then you had to communicate with Wumpus's lobotomite sidekick, Springle, the mystical fairy elf, who did nothing to solve your problems. It was just like one Discord employee who really liked to LARP and roleplay, so you'd give them your problem that you want help with, and they just kind of beat around the bush in like the silliest ways ever, like, oh, this is a very alarming problem. I'm going to get to it right now. Let me contact the hype conductor over here at the HQ, and we'll see if we can get to it. Then they get back to you like a day later, like, unfortunately, there was nothing we could do about it. Our Chaos Emeralds weren't powerful enough to solve your problem, but hopefully you enjoyed our conversation anyway. Toodaloo, cobblaboo, that kind of stuff. Or, no, he used to say, crinkle. He used to be like, crinkle cum. No, it wasn't crinkle cum, but he used to say something like that, like, crinkly dinks, something. Just spitting gibberish jolliness at you. And it was kind of charming and cute, but obviously very kind of embarrassing. So they ended up retiring that and rebranding to be more serious as the app grew in popularity. But back then, they used to blame all of the problems that happened at Discord on Wumpus. If there was an outage, they'd say, whoops, Wumpus seems to have tripped over the power cord at Discord. How clumsy of Wumpus. Can everyone say, aw, Wumpus, with a hashtag underneath this tweet? That kind of thing. So I've got a theory that this was a Wumpus original. He reared his ugly head from behind the curtain once again at Discord, and his influence was felt in a big way here. Like a poltergeist, a spirit that was haunting Discord. They must have got the Ouija board out and accidentally summoned Wumpus, and he created this big Viewbot. Now, they have changed it so it no longer just autoplays and loops in everyone's Discord like some kind of parasitic infestation on there or anything. Now, you have to go out of your way to view it. And I am curious if YouTube's going to do anything about it, or if they even could, if they wanted to. Like, how do you just get rid of a bunch of those views? Like, is there a way for them to see on the back end which ones were just autoplay looped? I imagine there must be. Like, they have all kinds of crazy analytics and data. There probably is a way to see that, but is there a way for them to just take those views away? Just make them vanish and poof? I don't know. This is something we've seen on Twitch a lot with infamous channels like Fextralife, which embeds their live streams on their website in every single instance of that website in the top left, where it would autoplay those streams. I don't know if they still do that now, but it's how they used to have a bunch of fraudulent viewers on their streams where they'd have like 20, 30k viewers, but only like 5 people in chat. It's because they were embedding that stream on another platform and having it autoplay in a bunch of different instances. It drives these view numbers up in a huge way, but I don't know if we've ever seen that utilized on YouTube, and certainly not to this degree with something as big as Discord. So I wonder if this is going to open the door or open people's eyes on exploits for YouTube views if you start embedding things and autoplaying them externally. Who knows, really? It could have far-reaching consequences or none at all. It really is unique in the fact that it was Discord that did it, because so many millions of people use that every single day. So the numbers just went wacky here, fucking insano style, but I wonder if there's other platforms or people that have popular platforms outside of YouTube that might use this to get some extra juice on their videos, like their big projects, if they just start embedding it. And you wouldn't see numbers like 600 million, but maybe you'd see numbers like in the 5 to 10 million range. I'm just curious. I don't know if that's a possibility or if YouTube's going to do something on the back end to make sure this doesn't happen again. Who really knows? But for now, it's just very fascinating and actually a fucking solid April Fool's Day joke from Discord here. Not with their loot box video, like that's fine, that's cute. But this as an April Fool's joke with this unbelievable Viewbot and clinching a record that will never be beaten with 600 million views in 24 hours, that is incredible. That's like an actual hearty har belly laugh kind of prank right there that they didn't even mean to pull. Like, if BTS dropped a music video right now, wouldn't even come close. There's nothing on the planet that will ever beat that record, ever. I'm very confident in saying that. Shit, even if Mr. Beast himself collaborated with a legitimate extraterrestrial alien and did like a $100 million giveaway, all you had to do to enter was click on that video, I don't see that beating this. I don't see that getting 628 million views in 24 hours. I do not think it is possible to break this record no matter what. So yeah, very interesting stuff, very cool, very, very awesome work there, Discord. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah. Have you ever closed your eyes and put your hands together right underneath your nose and you relax your muscles, you relax your asshole, and you make a wish. Something you've always wanted, something you've always dreamed of, and you wished real hard for a real long time, and it just didn't come true. You didn't gain 5 inches of height, you're still 5'6". Yeah, that was YouTube not listening to you. They don't listen to shit. As is per tradition, YouTube has released another video demonstrating just how out of touch they are with the user base. They have once again come this Christmas and filled our stockings with bull semen that we didn't even ask for this year. And once again, per tradition, we have to just swallow that bull semen with a big old smile on our face and pretend that's what we wanted for this Christmas. Because we don't have a choice. YouTube has a genuine monopoly on video sharing. The only competition they have, any semblance of competition, is from Twitch. And that's not even a direct one-to-one competition, and Twitch themselves has a lot of problems. But I will concede Twitch is making strides to become a better run company, and they're making a lot of improvements, and that I totally respect, and I really hope Twitch can keep up the good work. They're making some good shit go on over there now, which I'm happy about. But YouTube is neither learning nor improving anything, they just keep making things worse. Now, their latest blunder here is they're answering a question people have been asking for years, and it's a question that everyone assumed was just a YouTube bug, which is subscribers not getting notified when the person they're subscribed to either A, goes live on a live stream, or B, uploads a video. It's very well known that not everyone gets a notification when something goes live from the creator they're subscribed to. Now let's go ahead and listen to their answer for one of mankind's oldest questions.
Okay, so to summarize, because I get asked this all the time. YouTube, do you notify all of my subscribers every single time I go live?
We don't notify all of your subscribers, right? We notify all of your subscribers who have rung the bell, and then your most active subscribers after that.
Our prayers have been answered. That's what we want. YouTube handpicking who gets the notifications. It's more of a raffle than a subscription. Oh, and let's not forget the genius of the bell. That beautiful innovation. Man, talk about a milestone in human engineering. Redundancy at its finest. There's a subscription option, or a ring the bell option, or you could do both. If you subscribe, it's more chance-based if you get a notification, but if you ring the bell, you get the notification, but it's very counterintuitive. You wouldn't think to do that. Why have two options to accomplish the same goal? What does subscribing even do anymore if it doesn't give you the notifications? That's the purpose of subscribing, but no, apparently the bell overshadows it now. That's the trump card. That's the Exodia that's being played.
Okay, so we try to notify the people who we believe would be most likely to tune in and watch your content.
That's right.
While it's live.
That's right.
While not necessarily overwhelming and spamming all of your subscribers with these notifications.
That's right.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. That's what we see our users want.
No, Barbara, it doesn't make sense to you, nor does it make sense to any rational person on the fucking planet. It's not spam if people subscribe. Subscribing says, I want these notifications. And you even say yourself who we believe would be most likely to watch. You don't know. You're guessing on who's going to be most likely to watch. Why don't you send out a notification to everyone who subscribed and let them decide if they want to watch? And please get rid of the goddamn bell. What a useless addition to the site. It brings nothing of value, and it sounds like a bad sexual maneuver, ringing the bell. In porn, it'd make sense. If I saw a title that said, Riley Reid rings the bell, I would be able to guess at what I'm about to watch. But on YouTube, I have no idea what the fuck that means. It reminds me of when Hawaii Five-0 tried to make Bing It a more common thing to say that wouldn't have people's heads turning and looking at you like you're a fucking alien visiting Earth if you say, hey, I'm gonna Bing it. And newsflash, it didn't work. If you say you're gonna Bing something, people are still gonna look at you like you're an imbecile or a fucking Neanderthal. And for all rights and purposes, you are a Cro-Magnon if you say I'm going to Bing it. It's dumb. YouTube is not going to get ringing the bell to be a common thing to say or a common action to take if you want notifications. Let me paint you a picture here. Let's say you're in the locker room after a real tight football game, but you manage to squeak it out and win. And you're in the showers right now. You got your boys in the shower next to you. There's dicks all over the place. But in the shower behind you with the linemen, they're having a conversation. Hey, who you subscribe to on YouTube? And you know, you don't know anything about YouTube. You've never heard about YouTube. They say, hey, I'm subscribed to PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye. Even as just someone who hears that, you can rationalize what that means, because subscribing it's not just exclusive to YouTube. A subscription is something everyone understands the definition of. But now let's say you're in that same situation. You hear the lineman saying, hey, whose bell do you ring on YouTube? Well, PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye. You hear that, now you have no fucking idea what's going on. Now you just think they're in some type of weird cult. It makes no sense at all. It's just, like I said, counterintuitive.
Okay.
Cool, I got a question for you, Barbara.
I'm gonna cut the video right here before Discount Macklemore says some weird shit to Barbara.
I didn't watch past this point, but with the way he looked at her and the way he asked the question, it makes me think his question's gonna relate to digging for chocolate in her brown balloon knot. This whole thing is just insulting more than anything. YouTube thinks they know what's best for the platform 100% of the time without ever even seeing what the users think of it. And then they have the gall, they have the chutzpah to say they're listening to us. That's such bullshit. It's so... I mean, I don't even know what else to say. There's nothing else to be said about this. It's so fucking dumb. Anybody can watch this video, hear what they say and the way they rationalize not delivering notifications to all your subscribers and say, wow, that makes no sense. That's really stupid. I really just can't even begin to understand what the idea was here. I don't even see how this helps YouTube by not delivering a notification to all subscribers. And it makes me want to start streaming on Twitch as opposed to YouTube. All of you know that I stream on YouTube right now because I didn't support what Twitch was doing and the way they were enforcing their rules and such. But like I said, they're making improvements. That is what I'd like to see from YouTube. I've never defended YouTube, and I never will because they don't do things well. But for live streaming, they're at least more fair than Twitch, but now that's clearly changing. And YouTube isn't even sending out fucking notifications to all subscribers. Like that's just, I don't know what they expect. How can they expect anyone to want to stay on the YouTube gaming side of things if people aren't even being notified if they're going live? It's mind-boggling to me what their thought process is. It's fucking silly. YouTube is just an out-of-touch company. They're the most mismanaged pile of shit that has a monopoly in the history of the world. It's just fucking nuts. But that's it. See ya. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. And I just want to say thank you, YouTube, for finally addressing the questions we're asking you. They released this video a couple days ago talking about the subscription feed and the unsubscribing bug that's going around. And they put it on the YouTube help channel, so about 9 people saw it, which is good. It reached a nice wide audience with overwhelming support too. People are just thrilled that they're actually talking to us now. They're being nice and transparent. Now before I start the video, I just want to bring everyone up to speed in case they're not experiencing the problems with YouTube right now. So what's happening is YouTube isn't putting new videos from people you're subscribed to into your subscriber feed, and it's also unsubscribing people from channels they've subscribed to without them knowing. And this is YouTube just shedding some light on that topic.
This is a bit of an experiment.
Yeah, and the experiment is how many jump cuts can one video possibly have. So you've just experienced the first one. I'm going to put a jump cut counter in the top because this video is fucking riddled with them.
I know you have a lot of questions about the sub speed on YouTube, and we've decided to go straight to the source. Zinzi is the product manager on YouTube subscriptions. So let me ask you, what's a product manager and what's your role here at YouTube?
So as a product manager, I work on developing new features for YouTube. I work with a team of engineers and designers, and our whole job is to develop features for subs.
Awesome. Well, that's exactly what I want to ask you about.
I'm nearly 100% sure these are both just shitty B-list actors who decided to take this role because Google offered them $15. This whole thing just seems like a middle school skit that a bunch of unenthusiastic middle schoolers were forced to participate in for the sake of their parents feeling proud of them. It's not organic, it's rehearsed, the lines are poorly memorized, she reads off of a note card sometimes when she looks at the camera. It just gives me the vibe of a casting couch from a porno, just poor acting and lackluster storyline. And also, that is not a fucking department at YouTube, a whole department dedicated to subscriber features. You got me fucked up. What features have they added in the 10 years YouTube has been around? It's been fundamentally the same thing, except it's been getting progressively worse and more convoluted and counterintuitive. If I'm wrong and there really is that department at YouTube HQ, it's gotta be the worst fucking department under Google's name. Oh, what's the subscriber feature team cooking up this time? Oh, they got a brilliant plan. They're gonna give out a toothbrush every time someone subscribes to someone else.
And the first question is about, we've been hearing reports from viewers that they've been unsubscribed from channels that they've been previously subscribed to. What's up with that?
We've heard these reports, and we take those feedback so seriously. YouTube doesn't unsubscribe people from channels. Subscribing is a core part of the YouTube experience, and that's really the mission of our whole team, is to make that experience better. We've actually
Mission failed.
looked at over 100 individual cases, and so far, we haven't been able to find any underlying glitch.
Whoa, holy fuck, over 100 cases? That must have taken you a bajillion years.
On a website with millions of accounts each subscribed to different channels, those 100 cases certainly make up a large portion of it. Since nothing was awry with those 100 cases, that must mean there's nothing wrong with the system and it's all in our head. Oh, the Mandela effect again! Berenstein versus Berenstain! Oh fuck, it's happening again! We're sorry, YouTube. Shit, you really did your research here. Man, you really dove anus first onto that bidet. You really did your research here. Fuck, 100 cases, I can't even count that high. Thanks, YouTube subscriber feedback development features improvement super mega turbo unit. You've saved the day again.
But as I said, we pay careful attention to your feedback, so please let us know if you think this has happened to you by using the feedback button in the app.
It's great to remind people that no matter where you're watching, there's a feedback mechanism for you to report things back to YouTube, and that'll go to the product team and they will further investigate. But I want to ask you,
Don't let this goober fool you. No one's gonna investigate whatever you try and complain about. They don't give a shit. The most they'll do for you is spit in your face. The feedback in the YouTube help forum is akin to Yahoo Answers. It's just so fucking useless.
did this have anything to do with the way we handle closed accounts and spam accounts?
I like how he's theory crafting now. Oh, but what about the Higgs boson and the cat of Schrodinger? If we cross-reference those with Planck's constant, could that maybe play a role in this? Am I onto something here?
Really good question. So these two things are a little bit different. Closed accounts, those users just don't exist on YouTube anymore. So they don't count towards your subscriber numbers. You can see the number of closed accounts in YouTube Analytics. Spam works a little bit differently. When we flag an account as spam, that account doesn't count towards your subscriber number anymore either. But actually nothing changes for the user. We never unsubscribe them from your channel. So imagine we thought for some reason that you were a bot, Renato.
Okay.
Total hypothetical.
What the fuck are you giggling about, goofball? She wasn't making a joke. She's using you as an example. Or maybe he's just nervous she's on to him. Oh, bot. I'm not a robot. I'm a human. Good one. I'd also like to commend them because they win a full 30-ish seconds with no jump cuts, so that's a pretty big achievement.
But imagine we thought you were a bot. You wouldn't count towards the subscriber number anymore for channels, but you would still get their videos in your subs feed. If you have notifications turned on, you'd get those notifications. Nothing would actually change for you because we would never unsubscribe your account from those channels.
Yes, ideally that is how it should work. That is how it is designed to work. I think we all understand how it works, but something is wrong with it. There is a bug, a glitch with it. That is the problem. I don't think anyone ever speculated that actual human beings of the YouTuber subscriber featured Nebula team were manually going into each and every one's channel and unsubscribing them from people randomly. Oh, yeah, let's check out X Vapor Smoke Pussy Lord 4000. It looks like he subscribed to a few channels. I'm not a big fan of that one. Unsubscribe. The problem is that there's a bug with it. You don't need to explain how it fucking works to us.
Okay, so to be super clear, even if I was flagged by accident, it would be business as usual on my end.
Exactly. You'd keep getting videos in your subs feed. Everything would be normal.
So we've heard some reports from people that despite being subscribed to a channel, the videos from those channels don't always make it to the subs feed. What's up with that?
Every video that a creator uploads will show up in the subs feed for all of their subscribers by default. And in the last year, actually, we've made the subs feed more prominent on mobile, since that's where most of our users are. It's one of the main tabs in the mobile apps.
And how long does it...
Didn't even toy with the possibility that there's a bug with that. No, it's going to be there by default. I swear to God it will. Come hell or high water, that video's going to be there. Armageddon can rain down, you're still going to get your fucking subscriber video in your fucking subscriber feed. Which we've made a lot more prominent on mobile devices. Please pat us on the back.
It take for a video to make it to the subs feed? Because I can understand why if it takes a day or several hours, that a viewer might genuinely feel like they missed out on a video.
Usually it's just a matter of minutes, and making this fast is one of the main things that my team works on. I was actually just looking at our dashboard, and for the month of November, it took an average of 30 seconds from the time a creator uploaded a video to the time it showed up in the subs feed for all of their subscribers.
Thanks so much, Cindy, for coming here and answering your questions. And the invitation for our community is that we want to make sure that we're answering the questions that are relevant to you. So leave us questions in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.
So there you have it. You happy now? They addressed our questions. Now we should be thankful that they took time out of their busy schedule to do that for us. Us fucking troglodytes and losers out here that are complaining about things that are legitimately wrong with the website. The time it took them to make this video was time that was taken away from them making incredibly new, awesome subscriber features. such as removing the ability to subscribe to begin with, which quite honestly could be a possibility since YouTube doesn't give a shit about subscriptions or subscribers. All it cares about is keeping people on the site to watch the advertisements before the videos, which is why they're pushing that trending tab so fucking hard. So that's a pretty real possibility. Once again, YouTube, you have pissed into my bag of beef jerky with this awful attempt at transparency. Oh, we're listening, when in fact all you demonstrated was quite the opposite. You were very dismissive in this video. Oh yeah, we looked at 100 cases, there was nothing wrong there. You guys are lying to us, you're wrong, everything's working just fine. And we've even made it a little more prominent on mobile devices. Thank you for tuning in. All they had to do was just say, look, we haven't come across any problems yet, but we're going to keep looking at it and working to fix it. We're listening to you all, and we're going to get this sorted out. This could have been such a great step forward to YouTube if they weren't such tight-tittied assholes about it all. We didn't see anything, so you guys are wrong. We'll go ahead and take 3 minutes and tell you how these things work since you're all too stupid to understand. It's just dumb. I fucking hate YouTube and the way they conduct themselves. But yeah, so there's your explanation for the unsubscribing glitch and the subscriber feed not working at all. Alright, that's it. See ya. Hello and welcome to another exciting, exhilarating episode of YouTube Pisses in the Mouth of the Creators on Their Platform. Join me today as we examine the newest way YouTube found to drop trousers and take a big old fat piss right in the mouth of all the creators on their platform. But before I get into that, I want to get into your ass and explain why I have these glasses on. I don't need them, but I went to an eye doctor about a year ago, and just for the trouble of going out there, he prescribed me these glasses that do damn near nothing. That's not an exaggeration, I'm not fucking. I can do this with my hands right here, and it would have the same effect that these glasses do in regards to enhancing my vision. But anyway, the big story today, YouTube has just signed some huge A-list celebrities to do some YouTube originals for them. How great is that? Everyone on this nice list here, they've paid millions of dollars to do some original programming on YouTube. They spent their entire budget on getting some household names to do some programming for them. Except for the slow-mo guys, everyone here is a huge celebrity not from YouTube. They didn't come from YouTube, they had nothing to do with it. Their success had literally nothing to do with it, except for the slow-mo guys. I really respect them a lot. But why is this a big deal? On the surface, that sounds like a cool thing. Oh, they brought all these great people in to do some stuff for YouTube. That's cool. But you have to realize what it took to get them there. They spent their budget getting them to come to YouTube to do shit for them. That's money they could have spent on people that are native to the platform, that are trying to do bigger and better things, but they don't have the same resources that these massive celebrities have. So instead of looking out for the people that actually made YouTube successful, they just go and take like the easy cash out route and just bring on some celebrities that kids like. I mean, it's fucking dumb. It's very silly. It's a genuine slap to the face. It's bending the creators over their knee and spanking them for not being bigger than they are. So why am I talking about this? Why do I even give a shit? It's not like they were ever going to reach out to me to do some original programming for them, even though I have the world's best cartoon, Bible, storyboard, concept art, and all kinds of shit ready for it. Hard Turbo, it's going to one day take over the world. Mark those words. Hard Turbo is going to be the next big thing as soon as I fall into a couple $1 million to make that shit become a reality. But anyway, why do I give a fuck? They were never going to contact me. It's not like they took anything from me. But what this shows is their focus, what they aim to accomplish with the YouTube platform. They want to become TV, a competitor to TV, which is fucking ridiculous. It's an absurd notion. That's going backwards. It's like me saying I want to create the next AOL instant messenger. It's not progress. That's just fucking delusional. It's out of touch. It's ridiculous. I have no better words to describe their goals here, because it's just fucking dumb. What they could have done is they could have used their budget to help content creators that are native to the platform make some cool shit for them, other than just the slow-mo guys. They could have had a lot more, and probably for a lot less, and that would have appeased the people that actively use YouTube, you know, the people that keep YouTube fucking afloat, not the children that are going to blindly follow these huge celebrities to their original programming. They could have had a ton of shit, but they decided to go for something that's a little easier to advertise on, because these celebrities have a track record of being very advertiser friendly, and they have a devout following. One that eclipses even the biggest fucking creators on YouTube. YouTube doesn't give a fuck about any of the creators, I'll tell you that much right now. They don't even know I exist, I'm sure. They probably only vaguely know who PewDiePie is, the fucking biggest channel on their site. Pewdie who? What? Is that something I wipe my ass with? What the fuck is that? I guarantee they have no clue, because all they care about is focusing on bringing in these huge household names to try and get like some, I don't even know what they plan to get out of it, because they'll watch that and then immediately leave the platform, the people that follow them. I really don't get the goal, other than to make some quick advertising dollars on the back of the celebrities for their short programming here.
It's fucking dumb. And it really is a genuine slap to the face and showing nothing but disrespect to all the creators on the platform. It's just really fucking nonsensical, honestly. Like, why do you want to compete with TV, which is a dying medium? The majority of younger people don't watch television at all. The only thing that keeps cable afloat is fucking lunatics and elderly people that don't even remember what they had for breakfast that day. Why would you want to compete in that market? There's not a whole lot to be gained there. I guess competing with Netflix makes sense, but YouTube has nothing in common with Netflix. Even if YouTube gets all of these originals and they're huge hits, that's not even close to what Netflix can offer. So why would anyone choose YouTube over Netflix? It's fucking dumb. No matter how you look at this, it's nothing but silly decisions all around and showing how out of touch YouTube is with what actually makes it successful. And I guess they might not view YouTube as successful because they really don't make a profit on YouTube at all. I haven't checked the numbers in a while, but last I checked, YouTube still wasn't turning profit, but this is going even further back into the negatives here. Really, the only value of YouTube is in the power it holds, the monopoly on video sharing. It's the only platform people continue to use for sharing videos easily and quickly. So that's the only reason YouTube isn't dead yet, is just because they need that monopoly. They find a lot of value in holding on to that monopoly. I'm guessing the YouTube higher-ups just look at the numbers of Netflix and Hulu and see how well they're doing and then just want to hop on and get a piece of that cum shot action. It's like Fortnite YouTubers all flocking to make shit content for Fortnite because it's so fucking popular. I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube made a Battle Royale game pretty soon to try and make money. It's just silly that they're hopping on this kind of shit here instead of focusing on what actually brings people to YouTube. It's not these huge celebrities that aren't even here in the first place. It's just content creators, you know? Like the PewDiePies, the Jacksepticeye's, all that kind of shit. That's what brings people to the site, but they don't care about that. All that shit could go away today, and YouTube wouldn't even know it was ever there to begin with. All they want is to keep bringing in these big celebrities to try and advertise, or to do their shit on their platform so they can advertise on it. And it's not a very good business model, because that's not what YouTube is about, and that's not why people come here. So it's not going to work out very well for them, I imagine. And it really is a genuine 100% dropping ass on the face of everyone who makes shit on YouTube. I highly recommend, if there's any YouTuber hopefuls out there, and that word makes me want to fucking puke. I hate the word YouTuber, but if there's any of you out there that are watching this and you want to pursue a career in content creation and shit, I would say 100% go to Twitch. 150% go to Twitch. I fucking hate the way their sites run there as well, but at least their focus is on the creators. At least I can say that with confidence. YouTube, it shows time and time again, does not give a fuck about the people that make shit on their platform. And then seeing this today was just that nice, beautiful, perfectly seasoned piece of dog shit on top of my birthday cake here from YouTube. So I just really wanted to talk about that because it's upsetting, really. And yeah, that's it. So yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I just wanted to quickly toss my nutsack into this wiener pile with this war between YouTube and the Wall Street Journal. I wanted to explain to everyone why everyone's rightfully mad at Wall Street Journal, but also the real person behind the advertisers leaving YouTube isn't Wall Street Journal. It's this man right here. Here's the puppet master. Eric Feinberg, or Feinberg, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but it doesn't matter because either way, I can do a play on words with it. Brace yourself. Here's Eric Everything's Not Feinberg on YouTube, or Eric Baron Fein Bears. Well, shit, that one didn't come out as well as I thought it would in my head. But regardless, he's the man pulling the strings, really. But first, before I talk about him, I want to talk about why everyone hates the Wall Street Journal right now. So, I'm sure most of you remember when they attacked PewDiePie, calling him a Nazi, just taking everything out of context and spinning obvious satire into sincere racism, and that blew up in their face. Most people saw that as horrible journalism and just a hit piece, which it truly was. But what this did is it showed the power Wall Street Journal possesses in the industry, because when they made that piece, PewDiePie lost Disney sponsorships, lost his show, he lost a lot of shit. So what this showed to Wall Street Journal is they have a lot of pull in this industry. And since YouTube is taking a lot of the old media audience, they wanted to fight back and try and retain that group. So they're going to paint this platform as a horrible racist platform and just where scum exists, which scares advertisers off of it. It's nothing new. It's the same tactic from when radio was losing its audience to television. You know, you demonize your competition so that way the audience stays with you. That's exactly what the Wall Street Journal has been doing by going to the advertisers and saying how bad this platform is and how all of their ads are on racist videos. Nothing but racism exists on YouTube. So, understandably, advertisers don't want to be associated with that, so they pull off of YouTube. Now, obviously, anyone that goes on YouTube knows that's not the case. However, it does point out a legitimate problem with YouTube. There is no screening for what advertisements get placed on what videos. There is some extremist and racist videos on YouTube that do have advertisements before them, and that's the fault of YouTube for not having a better system in place to prevent that from happening. Now, this is where Eric Fuckboy comes into play. What Eric has done is he's found a way to locate every single racist, extremist, homophobic, just awful video in existence on YouTube with ads in it. He found a way to track them, and what he's done is he's been able to present that to these advertisers and also hold Google hostage because he's patented his technique for finding these videos with the ads on them. Now, this would actually be a really righteous and very good cause if he wasn't such a dickbag. He's fucking literally holding his patented technology ransom. Google will have to pay him millions of dollars in order to find these videos with these racist, extremist content and ads playing on it. What this would do is if they could actually cut off the advertisements on those videos, that would remove a source of income for these horrible organizations. But this man doesn't really care. He's trying to flaunt around like he's some type of vigilante with this incredible technology, but what he's doing is he's just asking for money, otherwise he's going to keep it to himself. And with his patent, the way he has it set up, he says there's pretty much no way YouTube could find a workaround for doing the same thing his shit does. So he's just going to keep holding on to these videos and letting these terrorist organizations profit off of YouTube. Now, this certainly doesn't sound like a hero to me. I must have missed the issues of Batman where he charges Gotham for his work. He's also an extremely narcissistic asshole. His Facebook has thousands of friends, but no one comments on any of his posts except for him to pat himself on the back. His Twitter feed was dead until a couple of days ago where he starts saying, oh, it's weird how advertisers are pulling off of YouTube. This is the man that's responsible for this huge exodus of advertisers, and he's a true fucking douchebag. So while the outrage at the Wall Street Journal is definitely justifiable, we're missing the biggest villain in this situation here. He paints himself as some old school heroic action man, extreme turbo avenger of the YouTube internet age, but really he's just a money hungry human catheter who managed to solve a problem YouTube's been having for a while and is now charging a huge amount for the solution. And while he's holding on to this solution, he's also trying to pressure YouTube into just giving in and buying his shit by releasing these screenshots and sharing this information with the videos and the advertisements to the advertising agency, so they pull out and back YouTube into a corner, so that way they're forced to play ball with this rectal thermometer. But yeah, I just wanted to make this to help people understand why the Wall Street Journal is coming under fire, and hopefully the Wall Street Journal will crumble and just burn to the fucking ground. But I also wanted to show who the real bad guy in this situation is. Now, I want to make this clear. I don't think he's a bad guy for solving this problem or charging for the solution. I feel he should have the right to charge for his hard work here. I think he's a scrotal hair for two main reasons. One, he didn't just patent his way of solving the problem, he patented every single possible approach YouTube could take to attacking this problem themselves, leaving him as the only one with the solution and the only one that could possibly have a solution according to him. The second reason being, he keeps sending screenshots of these videos with the ads to the company so that way they'll pull off of YouTube and make YouTube more likely to buy his product, which is hurting everyone on the website right now. So yeah, Eric, if you're watching this, go fuck yourself. And Wall Street Journal, if you're watching this, also go fuck yourself. And that's it. Alright everyone, it's time to get out the tinfoil butt plug and put that way up in there because it's about to get really into the conspiracy side of YouTube. I'm sure a lot of you, if you've been on the platform over the last month at all for any duration of time, you've been recommended a video from a creator named Janelle Eliana. She is a up-and-coming creator, and that's not even the right word for it. She's an exploding creator, a fucking supernova superstar of YouTube, who in 2 videos has amassed 1.4 million subscribers and growing 100,000 subscribers a day. Now, for anyone that's ever used a platform or used any platform ever on the internet, you know those numbers are nuts. In fact, they're more than nuts. They're the whole goddamn penis. Those numbers are unbelievable to the point where it seems fake, phony.
as if it was artificially boosted. And this is where we get into the conspiracy theory on Janelle Eliana's explosion on YouTube. I want to say right away, I actually like her videos. The 2 videos she's posted, I think are interesting. She's entertaining, and I could see those videos being very popular with audiences. I think they're very well made. But that being said, 2 videos, 1.4 million views, and every single account getting recommended both videos is a little suspicious, especially when you consider the fact that Susan, the head of YouTube, once said this to Juice WRLD.
Gee, you know how we spoke about getting your subscribers up? She's the big boss of it all.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's just been real. This is the whole thing.
I know. How can we help you? You're so talented. We gotta get your subscriber numbers way up. We're gonna make it happen. All right?
So, using what you just heard from Susan, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that YouTube would artificially increase someone's subscriber numbers, or at the very least, handpick people to start showing everyone to try and get more attention their way. You know, bypassing their own algorithm and just handpicking channels to explode. And that's exactly how this feels. It feels very manufactured and calculated. I even tested this myself. I logged on to Tiana's old YouTube account, one she hasn't logged into in at least a year or 2 years, and I was immediately recommended Janelle Eliana on the homepage. Right away, both videos. And that's a little surprising to me. I couldn't walk out my front door right now without seeing like a fucking blimp going by with Janelle Eliana's YouTube channel on it. I'd open my mail and it's probably nothing but Janelle Eliana YouTube letters, brochures telling me to go subscribe. They are shoving Janelle Eliana down everyone's urethra. And now circling back to the video of Susan, the head of YouTube, flirting with Juice WRLD and really puffing out her chest saying, you know, we can blow your shit up real hard, buddy. This is exactly what it feels like. This is what they've done with Janelle. And a lot of people say that it all came from Instagram because she did have an Instagram account before starting YouTube. However, in a video from a YouTuber called Memology, they talk about this by showing that her Instagram account had no growth until July 12th, which is after her first video was posted, which means the growth on her Instagram came from YouTube, not the other way around. Her Instagram followers didn't go to YouTube and blow her shit up. The YouTube people went from YouTube and blew up her Instagram shit. So there was really no connection between her already having Instagram and then posting that video. It just seemingly out of nowhere, all of a sudden just fucking caught fire and started fisting everyone's recommendations with her content. And again, I think she made quality content, and this whole conspiracy revolves around how unnatural it all seems. And this conspiracy theory is only just getting started. Buckle your seatbelt, because we're going deeper and it gets even bigger in scale. There's more twists and turns and wild, wacky adventures in this conspiracy theory. It's like fucking Game of Thrones again, but without shitty writing in the last 2 seasons. So, a couple months ago, YouTube announced that they're going to be abbreviating public subscriber count. And what that means is sites like Social Blade are no longer going to be able to give people real-time subscriber information. And Social Blade is a site that people go to look at trends and see channel growth. And it allows you to identify shit like Janelle's incredible channel growth. By abbreviating the subscriber count and getting rid of the site's ability to display these things, people aren't going to be able to track how quickly a channel is growing, which means YouTube could easily hide the fact that they're artificially increasing a channel's subscriber numbers and putting them more on the front page because you wouldn't be able to track that data, since it'd only go in 100,000 or 1 million increments. Now, why would they want to artificially boost channels? Well, the conspiracy theorists suggest that it's because they want it to be more like television, where they take channels like Janelle with easily digestible, family-friendly content that's super safe for advertisers, and boost that shit up hugely so that way it can be the face of YouTube and the direction it wants to go in. And to be honest, I kind of understand that idea because YouTube really does actively want to be like television. The entire trending page is just turbo late night with Jimmy Falimmel. But ultimately, I have to completely disagree with this portion of the conspiracy theory because YouTube is totally shameless. They wouldn't try and hide shit. They're not exactly criminals going in and bleaching their fingerprints. They're not going to hide any evidence. They're very open with the fact that they don't give a shit. If YouTube's going to artificially boost a channel, they're probably going to brag about it on Twitter. Like, hey guys, we just dumped 10 million subscribers on this channel. Fuck yeah, baby. Suck our assholes. YouTube doesn't give a shit. They're not going to go through the effort of implementing new systems to hide some shady shit they're doing. They've never done that in the past. You have to be new to the platform to think that it cares enough to hide any of the dumb shit they do. They know they have a monopoly. They know they can get away with anything, so they're not going to bother going through that effort. They outright will take a big old loogie, spit it right in your eye. They're not going to hide it. I'm pretty certain the reason they want to abbreviate the sub count is that way so people can't use it as a weapon, I think is their idea. Imagine being so goddamn pathetic you think unsubscribing to someone is a weaponized terrorist act, but I think that's their idea because the James Charles thing, the cancel culture, pro-Jared, people like the mob mentality where they all contribute to the common goal of canceling somebody, and YouTube doesn't like that people aren't playing nice. So they want to inhibit people's ability to join the mob. If you can't see how many subscribers someone's losing, you're less likely to hop aboard the unsubscribe train. I don't know. I think that's their thought process. That's what it seems like because that change came at the tail end of the James Charles controversy, so the timing seems a little fishy there. I imagine that's the idea. I don't think the artificially boosting a channel is correlated with the abbreviated sub count at all. Now, I do want to give credit to YouTube. I've been kind of taking a shit on them, but they have been making changes to the copyright enforcement system, so credit where credit is due, YouTube. I like what you're doing with the copyright thing, and I hope you continue to make attempts to at least bridge the gap between creator and platform and make it a better platform overall. Back to the conspiracy shit, baby. People are being automatically subbed to her channel. This one I can't confirm or deny. I logged in on Tiana's old YouTube account. She was not subscribed, though she was constantly recommended the videos. And in Memology's video, he shows a lot of screenshots from about 1,000 fucking commenters that all say they were automatically subbed to her and have no idea who she is or why they were subbed to her. There's no way to confirm if that's real. It could just be people making shit up for the sake of a myth on YouTube, like the Loch Ness Monster, or, you know, like the boogeyman of YouTube. Help, guys. My YouTube account's been hacked and haunted by the ghost of Chad Hurley, and I've been automatically subscribed to Janelle. What's going on? Well, shit. Need an exorcism. It could be totally fake. People subscribed and forgot. People accidentally subscribed. But the conspiracy goes even deeper. Just had a fucking fat voice crack, so maybe there is some paranormal play here. Going deeper, they say YouTube has access to the inactive accounts that they occasionally purge. As some of you know, if an account gets way too inactive, they just get rid of the account. That being said, they say that they are subscribing those really old accounts to her, so it's not suspicious. No one's account is meant to get automatically subscribed. It's an accident if it does, because they're trying to do the inactive ones to her. There's no way of knowing if that's real or not. That's really grasping. That I seem to be highly unlikely that they're using inactive accounts to mass subscribe to her. There's literally no way at all to know unless YouTube just comes out and, you know, takes off their shirt, waves it over their head. Yep, we've been doing that. Woohoo, yaha, I've been doing it. There's no way you're ever going to get confirmation on that. And there's no way to know if being automatically subscribed to her is a real thing or just, again, made up. I was rendering the video and then remembered I didn't talk about this anime's villain. So, according to conspiracy theorist Philip DeFranco is the puppet master pulling the strings and making Janelle Eliana dance. He is the secret behind her success because in a recent video, Philip talks about her and promotes her channel. Now, it is a little odd that out of nowhere he just starts promoting her, saying how much he loves her channel, jerking off to it every day. It's the perfect zig to the YouTube zag. It's amazing. It's great. It is a little odd and out of place. But I don't know if that's actually good evidence, solid evidence to confirm that he has a hand in it, because he really does just talk about news and shit like that, so maybe he was just talking about it because she was already blowing up. I don't know, I don't really like the guy. I'm not going to white knight him and fight his battles, but it's not exactly strong evidence. And as a whole, I think the conspiracy theory has a lot of problems with it, though there is something very unnatural about Janelle's growth. And again, Memology's video talks about it in pretty good detail. But in a nutshell, it doesn't take too long and too much thinking to realize that, hey, someone's first video on a platform that doesn't really have a pre-established following probably is pretty unlikely to get 5 million views in a week. That seems a little odd. Oh, it's even odder that she's getting 100,000 subs a day on only 2 videos. That's a little weird. You know, you don't have to connect a lot of dots or do a whole lot of thought experimenting to figure out that something's a little fishy there, and with Susan having that video of her saying that she can blow up a channel out of nowhere, it's a little fishy. But anyway, just wanted to talk about this because I think it's an interesting subject, and that's about it. So yeah.